show, the J. Craig Podcast.
And we're live, thejaycraig.com.
Craig!
Jason, what is going on?
I am
Right.
We are back.
Let's do it.
What should we talk about?
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the J. Craig on NPR. What's going on, Jason Cadron?
Hey, Craig Miller, what's happening, man?
A lot, man. What do you think of the new the little digs here?
If you've noticed, people, we are in a new place. We have been transported to another dimension.
That's right.
Of the J. Craig.
And who we found here was
Hey,
Gillespie.
yes,
diehard Psycho fan.
That's hey.
found him here.
All right.
Found him here amongst the blackness. Yes.
Yeah,
Amongst the blackness.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are in a new place.
That's nice.
Right? We're sitting here at Next Wave Media Lab here in Troy, Michigan.
Yes.
We got to thank Steve Caldwell for
Thank
letting
you,
us
Steve
come
Caldwell.
here.
Thank you.
Right?
Wherever you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wherever
thank
he is. He's up there somewhere watching and
He is, yes.
and playing around with everything.
Making sure it all
And
goes
so
right.
you're in town, obviously, which is a
I
really
am in
cool
town.
thing.
Yes.
Welcome.
The planets just
Welcome.
aligned. I'm
Exactly.
in town. Brian's in town.
And Brian's in town, and it kind of worked
we
out.
have the
that,
studio.
That's
Yeah,
right. So, Brian,
I am honored.
hi.
Hey, I know. I am,
How are
What's
you?
going on?
I am honored just to be here.
Well, thanks, man. A little cheers to you. Welcome
thank
back
you.
to
So,
Michigan.
yeah.
Sure, I can bring some partying gifts for you
Ding.
guys. You know.
Wait
We
down.
are drinking what you
Cheers.
brought with you. Thank you very
Cheers.
much.
That's right.
And I had a few bites of the sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
glad you enjoyed it.
So, for those who watch and listen to the J. Craig, Brian is one of the key contributors of one of our intros,
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
and we love that track, man.
No,
It's
no,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve is also another contributor.
Yeah,
of our
he is
soundtracks
a
and,
contributor,
other
yes.
intro. So we have both
So the
musical talents here.
The snappy, upbeat one is Steve's,
Yep.
and then the very moody electronic music one is Brian's.
That's right. Right. Along with
Mr. Phil Fox.
Mr. Phil Fox. Thank you. I had a little brain fart there. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about
Phil.
yourself and why the hell are you here?
I'm in town for my birthday was 420.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Big
Cheers.
big 4-5.
That's awesome.
Came
Even
to town
better.
to see my parents, and also it's kind of like a national holiday. It's Record Store Day Saturday, so I am a average.
That is an actual national holiday.
Well, to me it is.
Oh.
But to people who
To a
collect
select few.
Yeah, people who collect records, or it's like the new trend now. They collect records again. That's
Oh,
this
it's coming back in
Saturday.
fashion, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Right.
throw the iPods away. I'm a new millennial. Let's collect a record. You know, but so.
Do
Yeah.
they play them, or do they just collect them?
Oh, they do play them because everywhere you go now, in a lot of places you see turntables being for sale. You know, you can go to a Best Buy, you see a turntable. Shocking.
Oh, right
Yeah.
on.
Okay,
That's cool.
Brian, so I
So
have a
I'll start
question.
coming
Okay,
back.
talking about records.
Yeah, real
right?
vinyl.
Okay.
Vinyl pressing records.
What is the big deal between that and digital, which is all compressed and has more stuff on it?
We don't have enough time to talk of this. I mean, we can literally.
I
I
know.
can go
Okay.
on for
No,
10 hours. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Okay, we already know digital's crushed numbers, zeros and ones.
Right.
You
Sure,
know,
sure,
and
yeah.
It's also by the bit rate and size.
Okay.
So you have that little tiny, let's say the iPod here now used to look like this,
Right.
you know, but now it's like half the size of this. Of course, I give credit to Steve Jobs coming up with the concept, you know, of having the iPod and you can have 1 million songs right here, you know. But the average
And
person.
kudos to the 20 people behind him who actually did it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, him cracking the whip.
100,
You know.
who never saw their kids for 8 months while they tried to put my music in there.
Yeah.
Fit
It's not possible.
So-
What century do you think this is?
So they heavily market that whole concept, which they make trillions and trillions of dollars, you know. So you're basing having all this music crammed in this little device. You can do whatever you can with, but it's all about the sound quality.
Aha.
You know,
Okay.
The key thing is sound quality.
And so why is record what gives you more?
Well, one, the record, we know it's warm. It's analog. It's
Right.
right there. It's usually cut from a master tape. So you're pretty much, you know, you can do the audiophile guys who really do go in the studio. They cut the record right there. You got that level. But, I mean, on an MP3, can you look at can you look at the liner notes? Can you look at who played in the band? You can read the information. Can you see the cover? No. So at least a vinyl album, you get the kind of, it's a physical.
You get the presentation.
Thank you. You
get the
can hold the
presentation.
product.
Yeah.
I like
Plus,
that.
it's
Yeah.
cool. And if your hard drive crashes, you're fucked.
Okay, isn't
You
it?
know?
And that's another part too. But isn't it so that don't you hear more with something that's as raw as that? Don't you
It's
hear
clear.
more?
You get more sound
Like
separation,
you
right?
can hear deeper things going on
It's
within the music.
it's really based on the type of equipment you have too. But I mean, a lot of people said there's also the fight between CD versus vinyl.
Okay.
You know, CD a little more tintier, a little more higher end, but at the same time, the vinyl has more of an analog, warm feel. You know, which is it just feels more comfortable.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you put the record on, it's cool. You know,
Right.
You got the old vinyl, put it on, put the record on. You hear that.
I love the first
skip.
like,
Yeah, you hear that. You know, you
and
flip
then
it
the
over.
music comes in. You
It's like
you get
watching
a
the
really
film
good pair,
roll. It's like
you
watching
get a
that
really
film
good
roll.
pair of headphones.
Exactly.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing. It's
Yeah.
film versus digital.
It's the
and
pure. It's, so
vinyl
maybe is
versus
that,
digital. It's the
so
same
is it, but is
thing,
it
yeah.
really much better, or is it just because we like purity? We
Well,
like the things
it's
that
different.
give it the purest nature of it,
I don't
right?
know. When people get into like, is it better or it's worse, but it's different. Like it produces a different sound, just like film produces a different look than digital, right? People prefer the digital look because they grew up with it. But you and I prefer that warm,
No, you're right.
comfortable feeling of film. It produces a different quality. The colors are more lush, and skin tones have a non-realistic feel to them. It makes everyone look better for sure. You look better on film than you on digital.
Absolutely.
For sure.
If
Yeah.
I would have known. I have records in the car. I could have just brought, and it could have been like you can just feel.
Oh, right.
You know, I
You
could have
can
took it
smell it.
out. Yeah, the color vinyl,
Yeah.
the different types of the smell of the lacquer
Uh-huh.
of the vinyl itself, and cutting your hand. You're taking the sleeve out, cutting your finger, getting that paper cut.
Well, I
You
got
know,
to.
it's all right.
I know you have a close friend who passed away. I think not too long ago. Ron Murphy,
Oh yeah. It's,
right?
And
I think I got the name right, right?
Yeah,
I got to edit a piece of film that was
Yeah.
shot there.
Yeah, I know.
Right, of
I-
a record being pressed,
Oh,
and
yeah?
it was
Yeah.
really cool. And I got to see like firsthand like what goes on with that piece of plastic,
Yeah.
or whatever, the rubber.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever
cool.
the hell
It's
is.
a glass
Vinyl.
lacquer. He cuts the glass lacquer. Ron was a mentor of mine. If I known Jay was doing this footage, if I knew Jay earlier, I would have bribed him any way I can to get the
So
footage
how do
from
you
him.
two know
Yeah.
each other then? Like, how long have you known each other?
It's got to be now 15 years.
Yeah, it's about 15 years.
So you work together?
um,
What's the
we
story?
Yeah,
work
we
together.
worked. We
What's
worked
the,
together for an awesome little energy drink company.
Yeah, God forbid.
We're not gonna
Zip
name.
Fizz?
We're not gonna. Oh, Zippy
Why
Fizz.
wouldn't I say it?
Yeah, you're right. You.
I've been living on that
you-
stuff for 15 years now.
yeah, so was
I've been living on stuff
it
that's expired for
15
the last
years?
4 years.
There
So
you go.
It's not 15 though, because you first started taking it or selling it when I was in Iraq, and
Okay.
you said, "Hey, there's this great energy drink. Maybe
So how long have you?
people." I went to Iraq in 2007,
It's
so it's
about
10
right.
years. So it's 10 years.
I started in 2006
Okay, that's-
originally.
that's
It's about right.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
but also my business partner, the record label I run and own, is his old
Is that
childhood
Yosuka?
neighbor. No, it's one of the labels. It's
Yosuka?
Database, Twilight 76, Brian Jeffries,
Ah.
a.k.a. DJ Godfather,
DJ Godfather,
was his childhood neighbor.
I'm neighbors with DJ Godfather.
Yeah.
It was.
Was at
neighbors.
one point.
Oh,
So that's also,
That's right.
plus you know my cousin Patrick Ward from
Oh
the
yeah.
film
Yeah,
industry
yeah, yeah,
and working
yeah,
at, you know,
my
various
grandmother
places.
lived by him. In
Yeah,
Hamtramck.
so it's that whole,
Oh yeah,
everybody knows
it's just
everybody.
a huge big
I
thing.
see. There's
Yeah.
a little confluence of.
Yeah,
Plus, I
yeah.
grew up in
People
Ward.
here.
He grew up in Sterling Heights, right down the street from me. You know,
Uh-huh.
I grew up on Ryan Road. He grew up off Ryan Road. It's that whole kind of conglomerate
So
area.
now you're
there.
living in
I'm
Wisconsin.
in Madison, Wisconsin now with my wife and my son.
How do you
Yes.
like that?
It's nice. I mean, it's very family. They always rate the Wisconsin, Madison area, though. It's a top 20 places to live, to raise a family.
You got a
You
bunch of dirty liberals there, though, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Do I need to move there?
Do you need to move there?
Dirty, dirty
You
liberal.
know, it's expensive, I tell you that.
You guys
It
can cook
is
your
very-
vegetarian meals and curse it.
It is very
Yes.
hippie
That's
jam
real.
band,
Yeah.
but you get the Capitol there. You have the great Republican Governor Walker, you know, and you have him, God forbid, and also you have
Oh, Scott Walker, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
Scott
yeah,
Walker.
yeah, yeah.
Also, you have the Capitol, like I was
Texas
playing.
Ranger.
You have the University of Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
You know, they
Yep,
have
yep,
the,
yep,
like
yep.
the big tech companies, and it's very expensive. You know, yeah. So
Okay.
my wife got her dream job, so we're out
Yeah,
there for
that's
that.
cool.
Is it
man.
expensive there?
It's expensive to
relative
live.
to here or relative to the rest of Wisconsin?
It's expensive to live there.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with the tech companies, you're dealing with the university, you're dealing
Yeah.
with the new millennials coming there to work, and you have all
Driving the prices up.
the graduates and the people getting their PhDs, and it's just
Got it.
you know, it's a lot of apartment complexes being built and condos being built
Okay.
everywhere. So
Right.
we're in the middle looking for a home right now, and it's just the housing value is just when the housing
Skyrocketing.
Yeah, the housing
Yeah.
value crashed in Michigan. They pretty much stayed down.
Stayed down.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like downtown Detroit. And then they've built up that epicenter there. But outside of that, which is still Detroit, is still blight. I mean, it's still
Yeah.
bad.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I don't see that coming back.
No, there's
anytime
a lot
soon,
of
really.
good stuff happening. You talking about
There's
Detroit?
great things happening down there.
Yeah.
But when you get which is still technically Detroit, you get out in the neighborhoods.
Oh, and you see some of it. Yeah,
Yep.
you see there's
I mean,
a lot
that's,
of bad
that's
still.
just blight.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
terrible.
I went to the pressing plant twice today, and it's off Van Dyke and Davison area.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I used to go up Mountain Road, go Mountain Road straight up. And like I said, I grew up over there going fishing with my dad, and growing up watching those houses, looking normal houses.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the last 25 years, you see burnt down, maybe burnt down or busted up, and it's just then all of a sudden it's completely vacant. You know, then you go off right on Van Dyke area, off 94 is just war zone, especially the Van Dyke Harbor area.
Then you cross a mile road and you're next to a mansion.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, Grosse
Right.
Pointe. Yeah, exactly. It's just a twilight zone. You know, they build. Don't they have like their own security checkpoint there? You know, Grosse Pointe. You know.
Yeah.
That's a
I
bad
was
joke.
surprised at how I was surprised at how many cops I saw down in Detroit yesterday because I had to go look for a bank.
You saw a cop in Detroit?
Several.
Oh, good.
I drove. What was daylight?
Downtown.
Yeah. Downtown, yeah.
Sure.
So I was looking for a bank to go to the ATM machine, and I wanted to turn around in a parking lot, and they were all parked in the entranceways to the parking lots. So I was having a hard time turning around. It's like, you bastards! What are you guys doing? I should have looked at the cars. They're probably all empty. It just looks like police presence.
Ah, yes.
Well,
yes.
it's
I
Dan
want to park
Gilbert's.
this and get a coney.
There you go. Or what's the big place now? The shawarma they have down there. They're like
Shawarma,
there's
chicken shawarma.
Bucharest is the big place people go to.
Oh,
You know, it's like a Middle
okay.
Eastern type takeout.
Is that right?
God,
I
if
don't
you
know.
want really
Okay.
good Middle Eastern, there's.
I'm not a big Middle Eastern
It's not
food fan.
Lashish anymore, but there's one down the street over here.
Sure.
It's good.
Beirut Palace.
Maybe it's
Maybe.
Brewer Palace now. Could
Sure.
be. Yeah.
Jay, you don't like Middle Eastern food? I'm sorry,
No,
man.
it's the one food that I actually don't like.
What don't you like about it?
I don't know. I just.
I love it.
I like.
I like everything else.
I could eat it every
oh,
day.
damn. Just hit the microphone. Sorry, Steve. I'm already getting drunk here on this whiskey, so pardon me, folks. I'm going to pour a stiff one so I don't have to get up again. So, Brian and I, you asked us
Get up
about...
and fall over.
Nice.
We've lost Jay.
Go get
So,
another bottle.
Brian and I used to work together, and we used to obviously talk about movies, because if I'm going to talk to anybody, it's usually going to be about movies.
So were you guys just in the middle of Costco with your Zippy Fizz?
Well, no,
with
we
your,
would-
with your
we
Zippy
would-
Fizz backdrop
Normally
just jawing
we would
about movies or what?
be in passing. Like,
Yeah.
we would see each other in passing for a
Who
little bit.
sold more Zippy Fizz?
I don't know.
Man, who sold the most tubs?
I got paid by the hour because I was like the lead.
Yeah, he was a manager.
Oh.
So
yeah.
I got paid by.
I remember all
yeah,
this now.
Yeah.
Yes, you had your team.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Brian
other guy
was
gave you a hard time.
was one of my team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there longer than I was.
I kind of got.
we were there forever.
I got kind of crossed over because I didn't kiss the one manager's ass or something enough, but who knows? I don't know.
well,
They
we
like
had a
you
lot of
better.
fun doing it, but we also we
Yeah.
met in passing, and then I was like the lead, so I would run in and I
Uh-huh.
would stop and see him, and we would talk about movies for a little bit,
Yeah.
and we was always talking about whatever came out, what are you seeing,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
believe Brian might be the first person that ever told me you should do like a podcast or something, and I was like,
doubt it.
what does that mean?
What is this podcast you speak of? What is
And here
that?
we are.
That's great.
We're on
There you
podcast, I think number 40.
Well, I mean,
This
if
is,
you're good at
there,
what
I
you,
think
if
so.
you're
There,
good
yeah.
at what you
Uh-huh.
do, and I mean, especially hearing the first few, I was like, holy shit, I'm hooked.
Well, I'm glad you're
You know?
listening, man. You've always been commenting. You're always eager to listen to our podcast, man. That's awesome. I appreciate. We appreciate
the one
that.
thing I like about it, because both you guys really know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, we think we do.
It's just a
anyways.
sham.
Okay,
Yeah, we
if
think
it is
we
a
do.
sham. No, I mean, well, I mean, you guys
We
work in
act like
industry.
we do.
I mean, like I
I
said,
know nothing.
you guys worked in industry. In the same time, I mean, I just met you, Craig. You know, I feel like I know a little bit about you. You know, just almost like I was saying.
Yeah.
You know, about what was the movie I just mentioned? You know,
Oh, I have a memory of.
oh God, about knowing everything. This Truman Show.
Truman Show.
Show.
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of that whole concept of like knowing everybody, this guy's personal life.
Yeah,
from a
right.
child on, you know, just because they watched the show every day, like a soap opera. But at the same time,
Craig, we are in reality TV now.
yeah, exactly.
We are our own reality TV show. It's
I-
true.
But
Yeah.
as not just a fan, but someone who loves movies growing up, you know, going to like all the cinemas and especially the Metro Detroit area, like the showcases and the Abbeys.
Oh,
and if you grew up in
showcase,
this
yeah.
area, you know.
Because we
and
do talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, and I think if you're in a certain age group, you relate to what we like and then
Sure.
what we think things have turned into.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a lot of old man grief.
Well,
on
that's the funny part
Transformer
about
films and so
life,
on,
right? Is you
know.
you view things as a kid, right? At the explorative and things that are influential to you, and you have parents coming down on you thinking, "Oh, you're crazy with that crazy rock and roll music and your long hair," and then it was the rap music, and then it was this. You know, so it's always something.
You and your
that-
crazy Michael Bay movies. Get out of my
exactly.
get out
You
of
and
my,
your crazy Transformers. What are they, number 24?
get that out of my VHS.
I got a funny story.
I'm gonna
'cause-
burn that tape.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but sorry, funny
gonna happen
story.
a lot.
No, sorry, funny story.
this happens.
So the Transformers been here, you know,
Oh.
and my business partner is, you know, your old neighbor Brian Jeffries. He has a nightclub downtown, and Michael Bay's been hanging out there, like all the time. And Brian got to be pretty close with him, because Brian has some type of gun for the club. You know,
Okay,
some type
okay.
of like.
Yeah, he's a gun guy.
I don't know, but not like a gun, like a machine gun or but it's like
Is it on display or it's just behind
it's
the bar?
for effects. It's for effects.
Okay.
For the club. And Michael
took that the wrong
Bay's
way.
like,
Oh,
I had these
yeah,
guys. Brian was
yeah,
telling me
yeah.
the story last night.
Right.
Goes, he sees this gun. He was like, it's like a cryo gun or something.
Uh-huh.
He goes, oh my god, I want that. He goes, whatever I got to do to get that, let me know. I need to borrow it.
Right.
I need to
You
borrow
know,
it,
and-
and then I'm
and-
gonna like run away with it.
And
real
he's
quick.
just like, because he had his prop guys holding this certain type of gun
Yeah.
for the movie.
Right.
And they're paying these guys, and they say it was just horrible. You know, it's jumping around, and he saw my buddy Brian Jeffries, DJ Godfather, holding this gun at his nightclub.
Right.
He's like, oh my god, I gotta have this. He goes,
Uh-huh.
well, how about this? You bring it down to the set, and he was on like the set of Transformers like 3 or 4 times,
Right.
just hanging out.
Really?
With these guys.
'Cause he
So
had-
wait, so
'cause he- 'cause he had
so
the
his
gun,
gun
yeah.
was like a robot gun then?
It was-
How
it was-
big
it
was
was-
his gun?
Is
it
this
was-
something he made?
No,
or
it was
what?
a gun for it's a gun they use for the nightclub industry when people were dancing and DJing. Kind of like it
Oh,
gives
it
them
like
that
shoots
visual
light
effects.
or visual effects?
Exactly. It
Oh,
shot
yeah,
visual
yeah,
effects.
yeah, okay.
And he was so amazed by this.
Uh-huh.
He goes, I need to borrow this. What do you need? He's like, yeah, here, take it. I don't care. You're Michael Bay. I mean,
No,
you know.
I-
you know?
Bring it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring some hookers over here.
I want more than that from Michael
Yeah,
Bay.
yeah,
I want a lot of movies back. Take back Transformers, give it to somebody else. And that's what I want for this thing.
Yeah, and I was
Stop making.
Don't
your
ever make a Transformer
Stop making
movie.
your billion-dollar movies. Yeah.
and Brian, it's funny. Brian goes, yo, can we just have a part where the Transformers just crushes my nightclub? And just everybody just kind of splatters around. Or,
Okay.
You know, crushes the DJ booth.
Yeah,
He's just like, I don't know. That might be a little too much, you know.
Right.
For that part. Yeah, it's
It's gonna take a few. Take us some time with the special effects crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, might not work out that well. So what do you say about Bay? Was he like a maniac, cool guy, or
Yeah, he says a pretty cool
he
guy.
just strikes me as like a total coke fiend. Yeah.
He seems like that kind
Yeah,
of guy where he's
yeah,
just
right.
all running on
Sure.
all cylinders, like just
Yes, yes,
nonstop.
yes.
Right?
He said he sat in this like $1,500, $2,000 like VIP booth
Of course.
by himself.
Right.
He drank 1 beer, 2 beers, and just got up and left. Paid
Right.
for whatever, tipped everybody out real nice.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, cool. I seen some, whatever I need to see. I'm done.
He's
Hey,
just
you know.
chilling out after his shoot there or whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, but he
Right.
loved the location because his nightclub is above the not the Opera House. It's downtown, right by the Old Tiger Stadium in the Lions Stadium, kind of over there.
The
You know,
old stadium.
the new stadium.
The new
Yeah,
one,
Ford
Comerica
Field.
Park,
Ford Field,
yeah.
right there.
Ford
Field.
It's across
Gem?
from the DYC. You know.
Okay.
I think it's the Opera House. Or one of, not the
There's-
Opera
there's
House.
the music-
There's
there's
the
the
Opera
music
House.
Music hall. That's it. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's the
music
music
hall.
hall.
It's
Yeah.
right down
Yeah.
there. It's right by the
Yeah.
car center, actually.
Yeah, it's across the street, other side, right
yeah,
by the
right.
gym where we got married.
It is. It is.
Not,
Oh,
not
that's
where we got
true.
married, but
Where you and your wife
you were
got
there.
married. I was there while you and your wife said your vows and got married and went off into marital bliss.
and,
Yes.
and then went to Costa Rica at the same time.
That's true, yes.
Meaning we went to Costa Rica and Craig also went to Costa Rica.
At a
it wasn't
different
weird
time.
at all.
No, they left for Costa Rica
It's
on a
okay.
Monday, and I left for Costa Rica on a Thursday.
Exactly. And different areas of Costa Rica.
And they went for vacation, and I went to
To
live.
live. To be a hermit like Ben Kenobi.
I did a total Hemingway year that year. That was a great year.
It was, man. It
It
was.
was a great year.
And what did we talk about?
Doing it again.
Finishing.
Finishing all the stuff I started that year. Yeah, it's been a rough year for writing. I'll tell you
It
that.
has. I'm a free man as of yesterday. I
Yeah,
quit a
congratulations.
job, and I'm
You
starting a
quit
new
your
job.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Congrats.
And
Jason
one
quit-
day
Jason
this
quit his-
whole thing right here will be the job.
So the-
but for now I have to.
There'll
make
be
money.
no more WhatsApp messages of these motherfuckers. They can't listen to this shit.
Do you hear that?
They want me to.
I won't say that anymore. So I'm a free man. I started another job in a couple weeks, but it's been kind of crazy, right? So we're talking about just new things, right?
Sure.
What happens new in your life, and it always comes down to those moments where you're just like surprised, where you're like, can I do that? Can I actually make that choice, right? And so it's just one of those times where.
Well, I think
happened.
people get caught up in should I do this, and I'm afraid to do it. But I think if you spin it and look at what if they fired me, I would have to go make my way anyway.
Right.
You'd be forced into it.
Right.
And the situations aren't that dissimilar. So just do it.
Right, and that's
know?
okay. So good point, because I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, I had all this trepidation of, okay, getting cold feet. Should I make this choice? Okay, yes, no. Even if it doesn't work out, it's going to be better than what I have now, right? So what are you waiting for?
Well,
Who
even
cares?
if you were out of
even
work-
if you fail at that and it's not good, if you're not happy with what you're doing, it comes down to that.
If you're not
I don't
happy,
care how much money you're
do
making.
something else. Like all the
Boom.
people who feel they're trapped in situations. Well, I've got a car payment and I got kids, or I've got a boat payment. so I've got to keep this job. You don't. Like, it would work out.
You know,
There
no,
could
I
be a
understand
catastrophe.
there are people
There
who
are
have
plenty of people who do that.
circumstances who can't and who need to.
They don't. It's not can't. They don't.
Okay, so you're
a
saying that
different
it's more
It's
inside
totally
of them. It's
personal.
internal.
Yeah, you can
Internal.
totally walk away, and you'll struggle, or you might find. But if you're not happy, there's a lot of people and stories in life, people who went on to like just pursue their happiness, and maybe they didn't make as much money or made as much money over time, but they were happy. And when you're happy at what you're doing,
It doesn't
you're
matter.
more productive.
Exactly.
And you do more, and
Right.
you're nice to your kids and your wife or your husband, and instead of being miserable every day and, well, I guess I got to pay the bills.
Well, yeah.
Well, I got to get this check.
Right.
I got to do that. But just I mean, I know it's. People always say, well, you don't have kids, you know that. I got responsibilities.
Well, you
You
do,
know,
but
I do,
it's
you know.
also everyone's different, and everyone's responsibilities are different, right? You know,
Right,
it's,
but-
it all depends on and what that takes out of you every
But
day.
what percentage of the population really does something that they really want to do, versus people who are just in a job because, well, I got out of college, or I found a job and then now I'm in this job, and I just have a hard time believing that you walk into fast food restaurants and the dude in there's my age and he's over there like cleaning out the fry pan, and none of that guy's just like, man, I'm so glad I got this job. I mean,
He might
with
be.
certain people. He
might be someone who got out of jail and couldn't get a job, and they finally gave him a job. He might be a guy who was homeless and couldn't get a job, and he finally got a job, right? So you never know, right? That's why when people complain about, I mean, everyone's problems are
relative.
big. It's all relative, right? But
relative,
they're big
yeah.
because they're big to that person. So
Sure, of course.
And it's so easy to look at it and say, well, you just don't, you don't want to do it, or you don't want it strong enough. And I think there's also circumstances which prevent you from doing that, until you have the opportunity to actually do it on your own. Because if you're a single parent and you have to take care of a child, you can't just quit your job to be an artist, right? You have to have something to support
See,
you.
but what I'm
Unless you
saying,
live in
but what I'm
France.
saying is, what if that company? The thing is, if you look at it, if that company was sold, it was bought out, she lost her job, she'd be in that situation anyway, and she'd
true.
have to rebuild.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, you have to look at life that way. As if I was forced into that situation, I would make it work. You're just not forcing yourself to
Okay,
do
but
that.
that's someone who's
You know.
being forced out of a job, being like terminated, right, and having to find another job of the same ilk.
Right.
Where you're talking about someone who can't get by doing what they're doing as it is, but they want to do something that makes them happy, and they're not going to be able to survive doing that.
Well, but
so
you're-
they have to do what they have to do to survive,
Yeah,
and
but
then do it
you're
as a
not-
passion
You're
project.
but you're not hearing me. If you were forced into that situation, you'd make it work, right? So the
Well,
only
you would get a
the
job.
only difference
Right.
is you choose not to do it out of thinking that you can't do it. But if you were forced into that situation, you wouldn't die. You wouldn't be forced out of your home and be. Some people would. They'd give up. But if you were forced out of the situation, like if you would have been fired by whatever that company's called 6 months ago, right?
I would have found another
You
job.
would have found another job and made it work,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying is a lot of people get caught up in I can't do it, I've got this, I got that. But if the company made the choice for you and forced you out of it, you'd have to make it work anyway.
Right, no, and I totally hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is also is the level of what you're looking is. I'm either replacing a job or I'm trying to become happy. Yeah, you might
Right.
be forced out of a job and you have to pick yourself back up and find a job. But if you truly want to be happy, and you know that being a filmmaker or being a writer or being whatever you want to do,
Right, yeah.
that's something that's more difficult. Then it becomes more than just the want, right? Because you have to maybe support other people. So, but I understand what you're saying. If you're kicked out, you're gonna have to make do anyways. But this is more about I'm talking about in the relation of being happy as opposed to just having to get a job to survive. Which, if you're kicked out of your job and you're quit and you're fired or whatever, you're gonna find another job.
Yeah, you absolutely will. Like
Right.
you will. Like people are far more capable than I think they give themselves credit for. I mean, people are smart. They can work with their hands. They have hidden talents. I mean, everybody has some kind of talent inherent to them, which comes back to that argument I had about universal basic income.
Yeah.
If you had a base income that took care of your bare necessities, what could you actually go out and accomplish when you didn't worry about having to, I got to go to work and do this?
Sure.
Like how many musicians and filmmakers and artists or caregivers, teachers never did that because they were like, well, I need to make a certain amount of money and now I've
Right.
got this job, And I was telling you the other day that even though my life is way too comfortable, I live in Costa Rica, my demands are not that high, but I'm not that comfortable. Like I recognize that I'm too comfortable, and I need to go do something
And then
else
you need a new
challenge
challenge.
myself.
Right,
I
you
need to
need a
challenge
challenge.
myself. Yeah, exactly.
I hear
Yeah.
you, man. Yeah,
Like
that's
I'm just
good.
kind of chilling out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm too young to be like chilling
Yeah.
out like this.
It's important to be
Yeah.
challenged and be not just be comfortable.
Yeah,
I want to be
like your
secure.
brain
You're
starts to
bored.
But
die.
you, yeah.
Bored. Thank you.
Yeah,
bored,
bored.
yeah.
Bored. Yeah.
So, I forgot Brian was here. Hi, Brian.
No, this is interesting. This is awesome. No, this is
Right.
great. I'm just taking it in.
I
He's
have a
watching
question
the
for- I have
J.
a
Craig
question for
live.
Brian. I have a question for Brian.
It's like a live TV show. Oh my God. Yeah.
So, Brian, you're on the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
No, this is great.
What is your favorite movie?
Holy Lord.
Jason loves these favorites.
Question. Just pop off top of head.
Apocalypse Now.
Oh, I like it.
Bravo.
Nice choice.
Bravo.
Very cool.
As
Very
a-
cool.
As a kid, watching, I was too young to theater, but
cool, yeah.
thank God for HBO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Thank God growing up in like the 80s of cable.
Did your dad go see it without you?
No, my dad was only into fishing and hunting and like all
Okay.
this. It was mostly
So you saw Deer Hunter.
yeah, well, Deer Hunter. That's another classic.
Yeah.
You know, but my
that
dad,
time
when we were
period.
at home, we always watched war movies and westerns. You know,
Just
my
like,
dad
my
was
dad,
very
yeah.
fortunate. He did serve in the army. He almost went to Vietnam, but he went in early.
Okay.
So he was the point that it was too early. Time they did the drafts and
Conflict
everything.
didn't start.
Well, yeah, he was already as a reservist
Uh-huh.
because he went into service before the war started.
I gotcha.
He did go down to Bay of Pigs, almost down to Cuba
Ooh.
when it happened because he was already down to Florida. If that would have scaled, he would have went down.
Oh wow.
Holy cow.
But, yeah, he was telling me stories
So
about
he missed two.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
dad
big
was a
ones.
nom, so yeah, he
Yeah.
missed an opportunity.
But most of the
That's
other
for
family
sure.
members, uncles, relatives, and my uncles in Korea, and that was a whole other bloodbath. But yeah, so watching those movies, like it was just incredible. Even thinking it, because when I was a kid, I was really into war movies, obsessed. Because since my birthday is 4/20, Adolf Hitler had this weird obsession, not being any type of white supremacist Nazi. No, God forbid, not. But the whole history, how Americans are obsessed with German military. You know, the whole history of how the powers of the military, how strong they were, and just the advancement what they had.
Sure.
Of just not just the weapons and just with the tactics and everything.
Well, Americans are just obsessed with power in general.
Thank you.
I mean, it's
You're
just
right.
whether it's economic power,
Sure.
financial power, political power, military power.
get the
Americans are obsessed
Yeah.
with
From-
power
from the-
in
from the-
every
from
single
Word
facet.
go.
Yes,
Yeah,
in every
we
single
have been.
and we're taught that at very early ages. Like
Yeah.
the parents are in control of this situation, the teacher's in control of this situation. You get on a bus, the bus driver has control, and then that certain segment of the population is like, well, I want to have control one day.
Yeah.
I want to be the person in charge.
I
And they
find
grow
myself
up to
becoming
be,
a tyrant right now with my
know.
children.
Well, you have to be. Yeah.
You will sit down and eat your food.
Because your kids are like, time to go to bed. No.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just
mine.
doesn't-
I have a
To the
19
How old are yours?
my one son Bob. One son. I have only one son.
Okay.
My son Bobby's 19 months
Bobby.
old, and yeah, it's
Is his name Robert?
it's his name after my father, and is with Robert or just Bobby.
Okay.
You know, I like Bobby better.
I like Bobby too.
Yeah, so
I have a friend. His name's John. His son's name's John, and I want to call him Johnny. They keep calling him John. I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep calling him Johnny because I like it better.
He's going to grow up one day and he's going to like it.
He's gonna like Johnny.
Yeah.
Trust me.
but yeah, every time I try to pick him up, he just kind of runs and screams. It's just like, no, you're not mom. You know.
Oh,
Yeah, that
Mama boy,
ordeal.
Mama's boy.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's always kind of like that. You know.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It
early,
is.
It's early to say.
Yeah, and you get to spend a lot of time with him, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Okay, we got your favorite movie, favorite filmmaker, director.
Favorite director? Oh man, Kurosawa.
Wow.
You know, I mean,
Making all the right,
Come
making
on,
all the
come on,
right
come on,
choices.
come on.
Yeah.
Bravo.
you.
Bravo.
Favorite J. Craig podcast.
Lovely.
man. Oh man.
I actually
No,
want the answer.
honestly,
I want the
no,
answer to this
honestly,
one.
John
I'm curious.
Carpenter.
Nice.
Oh,
Come on,
right.
dude. My
I mean,
favorite. That's
yeah.
one of my favorites
Since
too.
being, since I collect records and I love the whole 80s science fiction obsession, especially the Carpenter. Thank you, HBO and
Oh,
Cinemax.
yeah. Yeah,
and-
for
HBO
sure.
rocked.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
HBO was the gateway. If
Right.
you were underage for R-rated films,
Yeah,
HBO
exactly.
was the gateway.
No, you're right.
Absolutely.
Because I saw Alien. Well, I saw Alien in the theater, but then saw it again with my eyes open on HBO.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
know.
so
and
jealous.
then Apocalypse Now. I saw Blade Runner in the cinema and then watched it on HBO. What were we just talking about? Conan the Barbarian. It's on
Oh,
HBO.
yeah.
Okay.
All those R-rated, because there were far more R-rated, adult-oriented genre-type movies back then.
For
Like,
sure.
Then they were all almost rated R. If it wasn't rated R, you were like, what is it, a sissy movie?
Yeah. Beastmaster.
Oh yeah,
Beastmaster.
One of my favorite. One of my favorites.
it's like
it
the
was
sword-
a great
the
time for
sword-
us. It was
the
a great
sorcerer.
time for movies, man.
Crawl.
Great time.
All
for
those movies were
Right.
Crawl was PG, but all
Right.
those movies were all those movies had a hard bent edge to them,
Right.
and some nudity and blood and gore and
It was
something
awesome.
going on.
It was a great
Yeah.
time, man. We do a whole podcast on 80s movies. It would just take like 5 hours.
Well, all of Carpenter's films are until Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, not Starman. When did Starman come out? That was after. Or
that
before.
was after, I think, too.
It was
yeah.
after Big Trouble.
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's after the Thing.
86?
Wait, no. Starman came after the Thing.
Yeah, that was his apology.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
his apology.
So,
yeah.
and
That
that
was
was-
84.
I think 81.
83 or 84.
81 was 82
82
was
was
the
the
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
So 83 or 84.
Yeah. Okay.
And then 85 or 86 was Big Trouble.
I think. I
Right.
think it was 86, 87.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite podcasts too. By the way, I loved editing it, putting the music
Oh,
in.
sure,
You put all
sure.
the music in.
Yeah, it was
and-
great.
yeah,
That was one of my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
favorite ones
It's like
to do.
the one movie I was so
Yeah.
obsessed because I even wrote a song kind of tribute to the John Carpenter. Escape from New York.
Well, that's why we chose your music because
No, that's
that
awesome.
music has
Yeah.
a really Carpenter
Well,
bent
yeah.
to it.
Well, the
Stranger
music.
Things, Carpenter.
Sure. Well, the artist is a local artist.
Yeah.
It's not me personally. I run the labels. Like the curator, my friend Joel Marshall Applewhite, aka Octo Red.
Don't ruin
yeah.
don't ruin the mystique.
Yeah, but I want to give him
think
the
I'm saying-
credit.
No, you got to
I
give
think
him credit.
I'm
We got to give him
yeah, I
credit.
know.
No, no,
But
Axl
still,
Red.
I mean, that whole kind of obsession, what you
Right.
said, the mystique of that kind of early '80s kind of soundtracks.
Yeah.
had that kind of dark undertones.
Well, I had a lot of
cool.
vinyl John Carpenter when I was a kid.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's
And
all
I
it
used to
was.
love the ones. I was disappointed when I bought an album
Mhm.
if it was only just the sleeve by itself.
Hmm.
I was one
Ah.
of the ones that folded open
gatefold.
because,
Right.
like you said,
Yeah.
it had the chapter notes in it, and it had like a picture of. It always had a behind the scenes
Sure.
shot of the director working on something.
Right.
and it was just cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's that whole personal thing too. It's personal to you. It's awesome answers. I don't know if you've been studying. These were not.
No,
these
no, I
were
mean,
not given to
you're
him.
throwing it
and
out
really,
there.
That's
I
awesome.
don't wanna
That's
be
great.
the
Great
Favorite
answers.
favorite actor.
Oh, touche.
Let me think about that. Favorite actor. I mean, oh God. I mean, I liked Sean Connery, but I mean that's
It's nice.
that's because the whole early James Bond series. But I mean, I'm trying. Damn, you got me curveball there, and I'm trying to think because there's so many great early cinema actors.
Whose name stands out when you see a movie? You're like, I'm watching that. I don't care what it sounds like. I'm watching that. Oh, he's in it.
Might
I'm
not be
watching it.
around anymore though.
Well,
True. You might not even. Oh, The Great Escape. Oh, it's got Steve McQueen.
yeah, Stephen Queen.
I'm
Yeah,
watching that.
but I mean, of course, I didn't want to freak out Jay. I mean, of course, Harrison Ford.
Oh, well.
But they can go so far because it's
Yeah.
really based on the script.
Yeah.
Based on the character in the movie. Because some of his other movies are just like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah.
know.
Because some actors can just bring anything to life. Like
Yeah.
for example, even though no one's gonna accuse the guy of being a great actor, but anything you watch of someone like Charles Bronson,
Yeah, there you go.
he's Charles Bronson and he just makes it work.
You're
Clint
right.
Eastwood's the
Right.
same way.
So there you
Yeah.
go. I was gonna say
Clint Eastwood
Right.
is just that guy.
Yeah.
Is that the toughest question then of the three?
Well, I mean,
which one's your favorite? Because I have a couple that come stand out.
Well, I mean, you guys do this. This is a major love, I mean, for myself, I mean, music is to me first.
Of course.
Then
That's my next
movies.
question.
But the same point to ask that for an actor. I mean, I'm just trying to memorize the list. Was I having the bright lights? Trying to remember, like, oh man, I got to come up with something. I'm not trying to impress.
No.
There's so
You
many
already got
incredible
Sean
great
Connery there,
actors.
man. So
Sean Connery's a
good
perfectly
one.
acceptable
You know.
actor.
It's good. Don't
But I
overlook it.
mean,
The
good.
Untouchables.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. I got Kevin Costner on my list. No, I don't. just
but,
kidding.
but,
No.
It's too bad.
I'm trying to think
For a
there's so
portion
many.
of his life, yes, I did.
I mean,
Okay, so
Spencer
that-
Tracy. I mean, come on.
That's a
Oh,
good
that's
one.
a nice one,
a
too.
very good
I-
one.
Classic Americana.
I like that
actor.
you're going with
You
not
know.
just modern day stuff,
Sure.
but you're going with stuff that resonates with you, stuff
Sure.
that is out there, everywhere. That's good. You have good
Good
versatility
comfort
there.
food.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I wish we had you on during the music score
Ah,
piece.
it's
That
all
would have
good.
been a good topic for you to be in. So let me ask this: what's your favorite musical? Do we go composer, or do we go favorite movie music-wise,
Oh.
just total?
Well, I could give two answers.
Okay.
Well, from someone has been a DJ since high school and heavy into electronic music, and of course, a lot of it's got to be, one Marconi,
Right.
Yeah,
all
cheers.
spaghetti westerns,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And-
Untouchables.
Yeah. Then you
Fame.
get into, like
My
you
God.
said,
So awesome.
into like synthesizer style music, the whole John Carpenter-esque of
Yep.
it, because being obsessed with not just with Blade Runner, he didn't do that. Of course, we know it's Vangelis,
Right.
Yeah.
but
Well, I didn't know, but that's awesome.
But
Thank you.
But the whole Carpenter looking, like you said, the liner notes back of the album, seeing like the old keyboards and synthesizers, and sitting there with I forgot who he did.
And his
another music
handwritten notes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
he's right there, and him being more like, we made this kind of B movie type production. You know, I don't even say it's a B movie production, but it's not big budgeted. You know, it's not for that time.
Yeah,
for being the 80s.
it's a real scrappy production.
You know,
and he elevates it with the music.
Yeah.
exactly. And
he
also
gives it a whole feel.
Who's the cinematographer?
Dean Cundy.
Yeah, Cundy. I mean, having also him, that made the movie, being a young teenage kid and seeing that for the first time, it was just like, holy shit, this is incredible. You know, because I was obsessed with science fiction and reading heavy metal and epic magazines.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons thing, and just being like blown away
The thing
by
about
that.
Carpenter was it when you watched his movies and like if you knew the story, it seemed like you could go and pull that off.
Yeah, he made things seem
very
almost
tangible.
easy.
Yeah.
Right. He made it seem easy.
Because his movies have a certain, not stagey in a negative way, but he's got a very old school Western stage, like the way he composes the
absolutely.
shots and
Yeah,
positions the
for
action in
sure.
certain ways, and how he stages his action. Like it's really old school stuff.
Yeah,
Really
absolutely.
old school, but it works.
It
because
does work.
He
It
doesn't
does
do
work.
a lot of setups because you recognize that I don't have time to do a lot of setups. I only got so much time here to do this, and so much money. Do minimal setups, and a lot of that, and it just becomes his style.
Yeah.
Where a lot of it's done out of necessity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Couple
he's awesome.
long
God, I
shots,
miss him.
couple one takes. Let's move on.
It's
You know, yeah.
take it from there. Right. All right, I got one final one, and I think this actually can lead into a topic, gentlemen.
Nice.
Dare I say?
What shall we talk about?
You hear that voice? I hear it. I don't know if
think
you
he's
hear
gonna
it.
follow me here, but yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Your favorite movie sequel?
Sequel. Not trilogy.
Sequel in any way, a
Any-
sequel,
anything you wanna say.
any type of follow up.
I mean, you got The Godfather.
Okay, good choice. The Godfather 2.
The Godfather 2.
Nice.
I mean,
The mother of all sequels.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's mother of all sequels.
I think that's a good one. I only have about 5 that I can say that are like your top sequels, like legitimate sequels, not just like reboots or remakes, but I'm talking a sequel. So, but there's a lot of fodder there. You have the remake, you have the Magnificent Seven remake,
Sure.
right?
Exactly.
Or is that a
Trash.
reboot? That's not a
Rubbish.
reboot. That's just a remake. It's
rubbish.
Right? It's rubbish.
Rubbish.
Right. You have the reboots. Now, what is considered a reboot? Is the prequels a reboot? No.
No.
Is Force Awakens a reboot? Almost. It's a
Yeah,
reboot.
I'm gonna say no.
It's a
because
reboot in a way. It's part
it-
reboot.
But it's part of the original timeline with the original actors. A reboot would be if you remade A New Hope and rebooted. Well, okay, no.
That's what I'm saying.
No, okay.
There's a reboot
All right.
aspect to it. He did redo
is,
a New
yeah,
Hope in
yeah.
a way, right?
Sure.
So okay, but what else is a reboot? There's like so many reboots out there. So like the 13 Assassins is almost a reboot of Seven Samurai, taken to another degree. So it's
13
rebooting the
Assassins
idea.
is a remake of another 13 Assassins film. There's an original 13 Assassins.
Oh.
And 13 Assassins is a remake. We've discussed this
Yeah,
before.
you guys.
Head explode. Yes.
What about the Star? What about the Star? What about the Star Trek series?
Okay, so there's a reboot.
Okay, so
That's a reboot.
Next Generation would be a reboot.
Exactly
that's
right.
a
But
Or
the Wrath of Khan. That's
That's a good sequel.
That's
That's
a,
a good
okay. Now that's a
sequel.
good. It's a great sequel, by the way. That's playing at the place we used to watch IMAX at
Is it?
Really?
over in Dearborn.
No way.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's playing there March, like the second Thursday in March.
I
In,
hate-
in May. In May. I'm not going backwards.
I hate that I come in town and I'm so
know,
IMAX is
busy.
gone.
Oh, brother, yeah, that's gone.
Oh my God.
The IMAX at that facility is gone. Now they have the 4K projectors. And they show like your
Have been gone
those
too long.
shorts, like the
Sure.
the underwater, the aviation, the animals. They
yeah,
show
yeah,
those
yeah.
those kind of
So
educational
you don't have
pieces.
an IMAX theater here anymore?
No. They have one over in Sterling Heights, what they call IMAX.
it's the
but
fake
it's
Max.
not.
It's the fake
It's
Max.
fake Max.
Yeah.
Right. So then you have they play. I saw Jaws at the facility.
Yeah, right.
DVD,
Yeah, that's what you said.
Blu-ray.
Come on. Yes, what you said.
And
yeah.
I was like, man, I came all the way for a Blu-ray. I got a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I can go home and watch it. Okay, so it's bigger, but it just wasn't like
Sure.
film quality.
Well, you
It
can
was
tell
Blu-ray on a big screen.
because when I saw it in Austin for Shark Week,
yeah,
it was a print.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of Jaws, reboots. So we're talking. Okay, how reboots, remakes, and rubbish. You have Jaws. So what is Jaws 2, Jaws 3, Jaws 4?
They're
have
remakes.
They're all remakes.
No, they're sequels.
They're all just sequels,
They're
right?
sequels, right?
But
yeah.
what facilitates? Like, what is the best part of what sequels shouldn't usually happen, but sometimes you want them. Sometimes you need them in a trilogy sense. But a lot of times it's like, why?
Well, it's all monetary.
Why?
It's all monetary.
Of course.
That's how
all it comes down to.
I mean, they have to make money
Exactly.
because the cost of production is high, the cost of distribution is high. I sometimes look at it, and there has to be a certain amount of love for the craft in there because they might spend between advertising and production and distribution, they'll spend $300 million. The movie will make $900 million, and then after their fudgy accounting's all done, they profited $160 million.
right.
Well, so you spent $300 to make $160.
Mm-hmm.
So why? I mean, there is a love of the craft, and there are people who just love doing that. I mean, obviously, there's ancillary markets, and that's just the theatrical.
They also have
release.
people who are investing money that they don't give a shit about.
Well, and that's theatrical.
And they're just throwing.
So
They're
you've
like, I'll
got
put that money
you've got
into it.
TV, you got cable, you've got rights down the road. The thing continues to make money. If
Oh
it's
yeah,
successful.
absolutely.
You know,
Right, that's
toys.
why.
If it's Star Wars, you got merchandising or whatever it is.
Merchandising. Merchandising.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, merchandising. Yeah.
Merchandising.
So I mean, there's
That's a
all those
reboot.
different avenues. So of course, my recent example that I bitched about in the last podcast was there's no reason for Fast and Furious 8 to exist outside of that the last one made a ton of money and
Right.
Vin Diesel's a jerk.
Exactly.
You
There's
know,
no reason for the Pirates of the Caribbean to continue to keep being made. There's no reason for the Transformers to continue to keep being made. There's just this perpetual motion of like,
love
oh, it
to
made
ask-
money. Let's make another
I
one.
would've-
Yeah.
Michael Bay just must have a blast making those movies because the guy's. I mean, he's filthy rich.
Oh, he's completely
Filthy rich.
hog
It
heaven
was
rich.
400 million,
Yeah.
I think I was told.
Yeah, I'll
Oh my
bet.
God.
Plus,
Well, because his
Yeah.
the deals he cut to make the rest of the Transformers films, he gets an enormous chunk of those films.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
doubt that at all.
Plus the Chinese market too.
It's the Chinese
And,
market,
and,
yeah.
and that's a big market for
and he
for those
invests a
movies.
lot. He's a smart
Absolutely.
guy.
Yeah.
He's got his business that takes all that money and reinvests it. And
Yeah.
he's got. Is Blumhouse his? There's one of the horror film
I don't-
companies is
is that
his.
his?
Maybe
No.
no, it's not Blumhouse. It's something else. It's the
That's
one
where
that
we need
used to
Steve
do.
to check in. Steve needs to
Yeah.
check into Blumhouse.
Yeah. So he's not. It isn't like he's got to just have fun making the stuff. Maybe he just likes to hang out in Detroit and go places. And drink and
You know
make
what?
a-
Hey,
make a
man,
bunch of money.
when you're okay, so he's obviously not a guy who cares about like he might say he is, but are the artistic craft,
Sure.
right? Telling
Yeah.
a story. He's just out there having fun, blowing shit up. And
That's
doing exactly, and it's just that visceral
probably a
energy
blast,
of
yeah.
movies, right? And he's having fun with it, and he
He's
doesn't give a
throwing
shit.
Marky Mark out there and
He's not trying to
throwing
make art.
pyrotechnics at him. You know,
He's not Alfred Hitchcock.
run, Mark, run,
Exactly.
run.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
He's just out there having
he's
fun.
betting. He's betting
Right.
all these beautiful models and whatever else he's got going on. He's living the life.
Well,
You know?
you can't fault him for that.
No,
right?
I
You
can't- I
You
can't get
can't
mad
fault
at
him
the
because
guy.
obviously people keep going to see it. So you can't hate somebody that people keep paying to go.
All we have
see.
to do is just not see them. That's fine.
And I do that,
You know.
but I'm not mad anymore. I mean, maybe I was mad at one point.
I think
that
you
I
were
keep
probably
being
mad. You were pretty
But,
into the Transformers for a
You
while.
know, I was, but
You were
because
mad.
I enjoyed seeing the first one because it was the first Transformers
Exactly.
movie, right?
Yeah.
I like the Transformers, the movie,
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon? Oh,
right?
of course. Incredible.
Far better,
Yeah.
right? Incredible. I tried to show Levi, right? He's
Yeah.
like, he was kind of confused. I'm
Oh,
like, what's
sure.
going on? I'm like, just wait, man. I gotta wait a couple years.
What did you think of the? But I would think a kid would look at the animation in those films and be like, "Yeah, I'm not watching this."
That's part of it, maybe. No. They watched They watched He-Man and Thundercats like it's going out of fucking style, 1984 and 85 style.
But He-Man's
Yeah.
He-Man's its own special thing.
No, man. Its
really-
animation
it's
is
so
really bad.
Was that
That's what I
Hanna-Barbera?
mean.
Hanna-Barbera?
Maybe?
It's very He-Man's bad in a so bad it's good kind of way.
It might
It's
be.
kind of
It
bad
might be.
in like the Ninja Cop, no Samurai Cop.
Samurai
it's
Cop.
bad in a Samurai Cop kind of way.
Orko? You like Orko?
Orko. I like Orko. Orko's great.
My little
Orko's
brother
great.
had all
Yeah.
the He-Man toys.
But seriously though, they're
All
watching
that
that shit.
stuff,
Okay,
yeah,
so
uh-huh.
so what were you just talking about sequel-wise? You were talking about
I don't know.
one of those fucking moments, right? Or who the fuck? What was Jay Craig talking about? Okay, so Craig, what is your favorite sequel?
I don't know. It's gonna be quiet in here.
Brian, I'm gonna go to Brian. We'll go back to Craig in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Brian, okay, so sequel-wise, so you got your favorite sequel, Godfather 2. what's your favorite franchise? Because a franchise is a bunch of sequels.
Oh,
and
I know what it
remakes.
is.
Oh, okay.
Winter Soldier.
Oh,
I would say Empire Strikes Back, but the way it plays out in that whole saga. But because Winter Soldier, but I love Star Wars. Of course, I was going to love Empire Strikes Back.
right.
I did not love Captain America: The First Avenger,
You didn't love it,
and
right?
I only went to see, and I was not into the Marvel films
Right.
at all.
As we've noted,
I was
on
kind of
many
like,
occasions.
yeah, they're okay, it's all right. And I was watching the commercials for Winter Soldier, and I was like, the photography looks really good. Like, it looks like it might actually be a pretty good movie, and I was really impressed by
blown
it.
away by
It's those
it.
brothers.
So,
What's the brother's name?
The Russo brothers?
That's it, Russo
yeah,
brothers.
They
those
just
are the
took
guys
that-
who I can't wait when they're done with Marvel. I
yeah.
can't wait to see what they do.
But what else to do? Because they took a really mediocre concept, which is Captain America, and elevated that material and made a great movie. It's a great thriller. It's a great entry in the Marvel universe.
It's a great
it makes
throwback to
Captain
the
America a
70s
badass.
thrillers. I mean, it
It's
really
got
is
the
a
70
70s
conspiracy
they really
thing.
set it up.
So I'm going to say it's that because they
It's nice.
saved Marvel for me.
Nice. That's
They
a
saved it.
really,
Good
that's
point. Not
a
to
really,
valid point.
really good answer because, I was thinking about Star Wars recently
Were you?
No.
because I'm showing the kids Empire, and now they're getting to
Oh,
a point
nice.
where they're watching movies and they're, to their finality normally, right? So I'm watching Empire with them, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Star Wars: A New Hope is a good movie by itself. It's a contained movie. Empire's not. It's not a contained movie. It ends on such an open note that it's not a finale. It doesn't have a finish, right? So it's not really a finished movie.
It doesn't
in a way.
follow typical
No,
structure
not
at all.
That's why I loved
Not
it.
at
But at
all.
the same time, I'm not going to equate it to the best sequel because it just has that fact that it's not a full, completed story, right?
Doesn't complete the story.
Gotta keep hitting the microphone. I want to make out with it right now. Okay, so that's a good choice though. Because we got Godfather 2. We have
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Good choice. Good
Thank you very
choice.
much.
I like that choice a lot. So and then I asked you, what's your favorite franchise? Which is a
Wait, you
bunch
didn't
of
answer the
sequels.
question. What's yours?
Oh,
There you
go to me.
Yeah.
Best sequel.
Best sequel. Favorite sequel.
You would think I would have the answer since I asked the question.
That's how you deflect, though. If you don't know what you're talking about, you just push it off.
And I keep
push it
asking other
off.
questions. It's not
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Because when I asked this question earlier, when I said there's like only 5 like really good sequels out there, you obviously got Empire. You obviously got The Godfather. You have now you have Winter Soldier, which I didn't have before. You have Aliens compared to Alien, which is a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Not as good, but you don't have very many as good or better sequels.
That's why
right?
I pick Winter Soldier because
It's
it
a good choice.
eclipses
It
First
does.
Avenger.
It might be the
completely.
one next to Empire or The Godfather 2 that really takes it over from the first one. I think
There's
it might.
probably other movies that do that, but we just can't think of it.
Right,
at the
you
moment.
can't.
Mad Max?
Probably.
And Mad Max. Okay, so
Road Warrior's
to
another
answer my
one, yeah.
question, you got it on the nose, my friend. The Road Warrior. That is going to
Did you
be my
pick it, or
favorite
you
sequel.
picked it because you
no,
said
no,
it?
because I had that.
Okay.
I had Empire, obviously, and I had
Uh-huh.
Temple of Doom. But Temple of Doom's a prequel, so I disqualified
Temple
it.
of Doom is a tough
Do
call.
you know that Temple of Doom's a prequel?
I didn't realize that.
But it is a sequel.
It's a sequel prequel.
It's a sequel prequel.
It takes place
They were the
before
first
Raiders of the Lost
ones.
Ark.
They were probably the first ones to do that.
Okay.
The
I
date
can
in the
see that.
beginning
Yeah, I can see
is
that
a
now,
year
yeah.
before or 2 years before
Sure.
Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually is a prequel.
Ah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's not very many. There's not very many good sequels out
No.
there, right? And so, but there's a lot of good reboots. Like you had the good Star Trek reboot,
Mm-hmm.
right? What else has been a reboot like that has been successful?
I would consider Mad Max Fury Road a reboot.
That is an interesting one because it's obviously not Mel Gibson, so you
No.
have the reboot aspect to it.
I'd call it a reboot.
Yeah, because it's not a remake because it's same director.
It's not. You're not remaking.
Same
any,
director, reboot. Boom.
You're not remaking any story.
right.
A remake would be you're taking a story and redoing it.
Right.
Whereas
Instead of a
it's
chapter?
a whole new
Which one?
thing.
Another chapter.
Another chapter. Exactly. It's just another chapter, but it's definitely more of a reboot because you take the different actor, different color, color saturation to it was different. It wasn't as. It was more brighter. It was more vibrant in colors as opposed to like the more drab look from his
I think
first.
a lot of
movies.
that was just due to the technology.
And I think
available
that's
to
part
him,
too,
'cause he
but
could
it
stick
obviously-
he could stick GoPro cameras on everything and shoot whatever the hell he wanted
no,
to. And,
he's a master. He wasn't just like saying, "Oh, it's just gonna." He knew that it was gonna look vibrant, and I think he made it. He wanted it to look that kind of,
Look, man,
that
George
kind of
George
look.
Miller is Dangerous Grandpa.
is
That's who he is. He is Dangerous
That's
Grandpa.
a great one.
He's
I
good.
like that one.
I like him.
Dangerous
They're
And his
okay.
leather jacket and his big
Yeah.
Coke bottle glasses. He's like, yeah, make another movie, yeah.
Okay, so we asked about
great
best
quote.
franchise. What's your best franchise?
Jesus. Oh my God.
You got the
Best
Star Wars,
franchise.
you got the Star Trek, you got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Indiana Jones, Marvel.
I mean, from a pop level, I mean, like Back to the Future, but
That's
I
a
mean,
nice one.
But I'm just
I like
saying
that.
for like the real serious factor, the Batman.
Ooh.
I mean,
Okay, so okay, let me ask you this question now. So now we're on the air here, right? Marvel or DC?
come on, man. But I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Craig was
You
saying.
can't put me in the
you
spot.
can't put
like
a spot,
that. Come on
man.
now.
To me,
Can't do
I
that to
think.
me.
I mean, I collected Marvel comics religiously before
So
I got into my
you are-
music.
really?
Heavily into
Okay.
heavy into comic books. I was a kid. My mom dropped me off at the American Legion Hall, 12 Mile, and at the comic book conventions. in the 80s.
Nice.
Heavy into Watchmen. Love the Watchmen.
Interesting.
You know, but
Okay.
I was seriously into the Conan comic books since I was in science
Oh, yeah,
fiction.
right on.
Read all
Okay.
the books, the paperback books as a kid.
Uh-huh.
But like heavy into X-Men and all the
All
subgenres
right.
from that. But for the movie level of it,
Mm-hmm.
they did suck. A lot of movies, the Marvel movies to me, I thought
Right.
were bad.
Right.
So, so you're of the same ilk that we were of that pain that we
Yeah.
had watching some of the Marvel movies. We don't have any love for the material, but the movies are just.
It was like we already know they're catering to young kids.
Right.
You know, it's
And
show me
plus
the
you have
money.
but you have a love for the material.
Oh, of
So
course.
you come in from a different angle.
I mean, I read all the
we
graphic
don't know
novels.
shit.
You wanted to see those characters on screen, but when I was a little kid, though, not the books, but I used to watch the Captain America cartoon,
Yeah.
the Hulk cartoon,
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man.
Way
Spider-Man
time
cartoon.
the fuck out. There was a Captain
Yeah.
America
The-
cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Dude, come
Really?
on. You didn't watch TV as a little kid?
What age? We're talking the
Superhero?
80s.
Like late
70s,
70s,
late
80s,
70s,
yeah.
late 70s.
Get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fuck out.
So
Oh,
there
man.
was
well, you guys are just you guys
Justice
have a couple
League.
years-
yeah.
It was Justice League, and
Thunder the Barbarian.
No, I know
yes,
that.
Yep.
I know that shit.
But yeah, the old Captain
The old
America
Hanna-Barbera
and Hulk
shit.
cartoons and the Spider-Man cartoons and I used to watch the Hulk religiously.
Okay, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys have a couple years on me, and I mean just a couple. So you might have a couple years where that late 80s was my
late
was
70s.
my
You were still playing with your
early
shoe shine
80s.
box.
Right, right, right. Exactly, right,
Yeah.
right.
We're already graduated watching Godzilla and Captain America.
Oh no, okay.
Back
So
to
I
back.
was
on,
stuck
creature
watching
Oh man,
Care
Creature-
Bears.
Godzilla Week,
So
yeah.
okay,
man.
so when you talk
Kung
about
Fu Theater.
sequels,
Kung Fu Theater.
you have a lot of shit. So we were talking about earlier before we started recording. Like why do we have so many sequels, right? Why do we have so many reboots and rehashes of material that we've seen before that no one wants to see? And it's because what?
It's safe material.
It's safe material and it makes money.
Money.
It
That's all
makes
it's about.
money, right? It's
a
getting those
business.
For every
it's getting seats
five,
in the-
for
it's getting
every
people in the
for
seat.
every 3 crappy ones that hit the dumpster like chips,
Mhm.
they get a 21 Jump Street
Yeah.
Right.
that they can turn into a new franchise.
Right.
So they're looking for. They're just looking for another franchise. What can we franchise? Like Baywatch, I guarantee they signed up The Rock for 3 movies at least.
Right.
So if this makes a lot of money, you and Zac Efron are going to make a bunch of these movies. They'll come out every couple years. It'll be a great time. Blah blah blah. So they're just seeing what sticks.
Right, right.
true.
So everyone,
Yeah.
like, what started that point? Was it Star Wars, where people started getting signed on for 3 years for three projects?
Police Academy.
Wow.
Remember the Police Academy?
I
movie?
love Police Academy.
I love
Police
that.
Academy, yeah.
The fucking Police Academy just blew my
If they
mind.
were the ones that actually
That's
did it,
awesome.
I actually think it was.
Yeah, that's a little.
I'm gonna get some more.
I want to say I think a lot of the blame goes on Marvel for the whole shared universe,
Sure.
characters, this and that, and spin-offs and whatever else they're doing. I'm sure it started before that,
Yeah, of course.
but I think they hold a lot of the blame for that. I think they do.
I just do the Police Academy kind of as like the bad HBO. series.
How come they haven't remade Police Academy?
It's
That's
true.
what I want to see.
Interesting.
You
Interesting.
could have a whole police
Bobcat's
brutality
looking for
bent
work.
on it.
Bobcat's looking for work. right?
Bobcat's
He-
making
no,
his,
he's not. He's making his own
He's making his
movies.
Bigfoot movie.
Yeah.
He's got his Bigfoot
absolutely.
movie. He's got his DJ thing going on. You know.
Okay,
he's-
so when you have okay, so then we know what we don't like. We don't like the rehash nonsense, like where they're just like money grabbing, right? So what makes a good sequel? I know the answer, but what is the good answer? What is the real reason why a sequel works?
expands upon the original and keeps the integrity of the characters.
Okay, does a sequel just copy?
Should
Like make the same movie and just
well, that's what
reboot
sequels
into
used to
another
be. Like sequels
Right?
used to be. We've graduated to an arena where sequels are actually considered good movies now.
Yeah, it's true. You're right.
Whereas before, a sequel like Police Academy 2 was just the same movie but a little bit different.
Right.
And Predator 2 was the same movie but just a little bit different.
Right. You take inside the jungle,
And
it's a city.
Lethal Weapon 2,
yeah.
the same but different. Like they didn't try to change the characters and take them anywhere else. It was like,
Right.
what other situation can they get into?
Exactly.
What other
that,
villain are they
and
gonna
that's
be,
where
you know?
I
Predator,
think I have the
Aliens.
biggest.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Now, Aliens did it something different. Alien and Aliens took it from a horror, sci-fi horror movie to a sci-fi action movie.
Yeah.
So it flipped it. It took the
had
one that
to,
was terrifying
yeah.
to 100 more of them,
Sure.
which was supposed to add more terror, and it didn't add more terror, but it made it a lot more
But that's,
visceral.
that's a great movie.
I love Aliens.
It's a good.
Yeah.
I can't rewatch it as much as I thought I'd like to. The first time I saw it, I loved it. I went back and saw it again, and like after the first hour, I was like, this movie is just kind of beating me up. It's too much.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I know it's not as good as Alien. I mean, few movies are.
Well, I
as
didn't
good as
like. I
Alien.
really didn't like. My main issue with Aliens was I didn't like that. In the original film, the xenomorph, you couldn't kill it. It took out 7 people without really batting an eye. 6, excuse me. It took
7
out 6 people.
non-combative people.
Yeah. Well, yes, but still, they had no idea how to kill it.
Right.
It was the most dangerous thing anyone ever come across. The company wanted it as a weapon because it was unkillable,
Right.
right? And then in the second one, couple machine gun blasts and the thing's toast all over the wall. So it's just why do you want this thing as a weapon? Like why?
Right.
It can't hold its own against Marines.
Yeah.
So why does it have any value? Like he totally delineated the whole concept of this thing as the most dangerous creature in the universe. He just took all that away.
Way to
And
take
as
something
soon,
and
as soon as he just
kill
started
it for me.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Yeah.
And I do it all the time. Don't I?
Yeah, no, it's really. I'm like,
So-
I'm getting it live.
I'm getting
not
ready to
first
walk
hand.
out of here right now, and I want to go cry somewhere.
So you take them and make it cannon fodder. I mean, you kill the threat.
This one
When it
makes the
comes
show.
back, to Alien 3, and you want to make that thing as dangerous as it was before.
right.
Okay, they don't have any weapons, don't have this, don't have that, but you've delineated the threat.
Right.
You've taken it away.
Oh,
It's
okay. So
kinda
you're
like-
talking going from 2 to 3.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
You've got to make it
interesting.
dangerous again. So you've got to
Interesting.
take all the weapons away. You've got to take the guns away
Right.
because now you've established that I can shoot it and it'll die.
Right.
Okay, so now it's no longer an unkillable threat. So now
Right.
we got to
Raise
take
the stakes.
So
Smart
now we
move.
got to raise
Yeah.
the stakes by making
Yep.
more obstacles for the characters. Then when you get into 4, it just. I mean, Juanette did what he could, but you got guns and you got situations.
You
and
got the
you
mercenaries
got,
that made it kind of cool that there were mercenaries in the
so
movie.
what
That's the
Ca-
only
yeah,
thing cool
so
about
Cameron
it.
like made it the fact that when you shoot it, it spills acid blood. Big deal. Like that doesn't make it a weapon.
Right.
Like, he took away the whole central theme of the company went out of its way and murdered its own employees to get a hold and who spent how much money to get a hold of this thing to bring it back to Earth. Okay, like this, how valuable is this thing as a biological weapon or biomechanical weapon? Excuse
Right.
me. And then number 2 is like, well, you shoot it and it dies. You know, it's kind of like we're not going to go into the wilderness. We're going to trap bears because bears would be the most valuable weapon on the planet. And then you shoot it with an arrow and it dies. Like you killed it.
Some studios that came in and goes, was change the whole premise of the movie.
Yeah, that's probably what. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was change
Yeah.
it and make it to this.
Yeah. Make it exactly.
You blame the studio heads.
You absolutely do because they always fuck shit up. Okay, so
Did you hear the story about how Cameron sold Aliens to the studio?
No.
Okay, so he wanted to come in and do his pitch.
Right.
Because what directors do is they'll come in and they'll pitch the material.
Sure.
They're asking for people to make the
The
sequel.
script's already written, right?
Maybe
On
at this point.
most occasions.
I'm not. Usually there's a treatment at least.
Right, at least.
So they're soliciting for, we want to make a sequel to Alien. Who's got the best idea? And then they'll pick out of the who's new and who wants to compete. And they'll come in and they'll give their pitch. They'll act out the movie. They'll go through it. They'll have concept art, whatever it might be. Cameron comes in, and there's a big whiteboard, and he takes out the marker. He doesn't got any material with him at all. And he wrote Alien, and he looked at them, and he put the S on it and made it into a dollar sign. And that was his whole pitch.
That's all they want to see.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That was the
I'm
whole
like
pitch.
watching you in wonderment. Like that's
the whole
it.
pitch. Yeah.
Really?
It's like one of those. I mean, I've
a
heard
business.
it. It's a business.
Yeah, no,
And I've
absolutely.
heard it's
You're
totally true.
100%.
So how do you make this into a profitable franchise? You make more Aliens,
Yeah.
and then how many movies went down that road? Predator 2 has one Predator, but winds up with 3 or 4. And then the other Predator film has got a bunch of Predators in it.
Okay, wait.
I mean, how many movies do that?
So now let me ask you
know?
that. So what Alien did, Alien to Aliens, and then back to Alien 3, which kind of pulled it back a little bit. Did Predator do a better job with making its villain, its monster, more formidable? Because there was still only one in the second movie.
Right.
And then in the third movie, which was what's the third Predator movie? Is that like the Alien Predator movie? There's probably a lot of them.
There's a lot.
There's a few of those. I'm glad they stopped.
Right, thank God,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But so they probably did a better job of making it still formidable, being it's one person. You know, it was not up against an army; it was up against city people and thugs. I mean, that's not as threatening as people who know what they're doing in the jungle. but it still made the villain, the monster, more formidable.
He was still dangerous.
Right, exactly.
Until he went up against Danny Glover, and when he lost to Danny Glover hand to hand in the end, I was like, I called bullshit on that. I was like, come on now, Danny Glover.
Now,
what the fuck?
Arnold couldn't even beat him in hand
What
to hand.
was Danny Glover doing in that movie anyway?
Seriously, because Arnold
They
had to
must
like
have
beat him
gone-
with he just like beat him and like I'm gonna run away while you.
They must have gone, but if you look at the film, at the cinema landscape in those years,
I'm completely
Danny
wrong
Glover
about that.
was not in a bunch of action films.
Yeah.
So they must have gone down the list. They asked Arnold and he said no.
Nope.
And then they went to Mel Gibson and he said, go fuck off. And then they went to someone else and they were like, maybe not. And they were like, well, shit.
I think
Lethal
Mel Gibson
Weapon.
probably said more than that.
Yeah. And then
A
they
little
were
action in that. So
they're
let's
like,
jump on that.
well, Danny Glover, he brings a certain flavor to it. I mean, he's good in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's serviceable. Yeah, and then you got Gary Busey being a crazy guy.
Yeah, of course,
It's like
yeah.
when Gary Busey started becoming like really the crazy guy. Like, you ever watch that point where Gary Busey became Gary Busey?
Yes.
You know, where
Yeah.
he's like,
Stop combing. Stop combing his hair. Just showing up the set.
his eyes are always
Yeah.
like,
Just be
Yeah.
you. Gary.
hey man, and he got that face. He's like, wow. Yeah,
It's Gary Busey.
yeah, exactly right. Okay, so
Gary Busey's at my front lawn. What should I do?
don't answer the door.
Don't answer the door.
Don't answer the door. Whatever
Yeah.
you do, and don't pour water on him.
Gary Busey
Whatever you
sighting.
do.
Yeah.
Don't feed him after midnight.
He's in his
He's a
bathrobe.
gremlin.
Just ignore him.
Gremlin.
All
And
right.
his son just never really made it. His son was in
Jake
a bunch of
Busey,
movies.
yeah, he was in a lot. He was
He
in
just didn't really
Peter
make it.
Jackson's horror movie, The Frighteners. He was like
He was
the
in that.
serial killer.
He was
murderer.
in James Mangold's Identity. He was in that movie, the one that took place in the hotel.
Yeah, that was
he
actually
wound up
decent.
with the baseball bat shoved down his throat. Yeah. And
Uh,
then he's been in a bunch of
he
things,
was
but he's
in,
not anywhere near as
Was he not
identifiable as his
in
father.
Starship Troopers?
Yeah, I think he is in
Right?
Starship Troopers.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who what character. Was
Yes, he is. I see his face. He's one of the ones towards the end where there's 3 of them. It's him.
Yeah. He's in
and,
it.
and
He's
Casper
in it.
Diem, and then the chick, Denise Richards. It's 3 of them. I
I
think
love
he's
that
still one of
movie.
them.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where I literally almost walked out of. I saw it in college, and maybe I wasn't high enough. I don't know, because I was just like, is it time to go? Oh, there's
Did you see it in the
boobs.
theater? Did you see it in the theater?
No, I saw it like later on.
Okay.
Yeah,
I saw it in
didn't
the
see
theater. I was like 96. Like, no.
Somewhere in
no.
there. It's 96, 97. It's somewhere in there.
Hey, yeah, it had to be, in between. It's about right, 96. Right. Okay, so we got like best sequel. You got like what doesn't work. What's your favorite part about a sequel? Is it like the story continuing, or is it seeing the same characters? Like, there's a lot of reasons to have a sequel where you have money involved,
Sure.
or where you have like a story like the Star Wars, or like what's another sequel? You have Lord of the Rings has a sequel, even though there's The Hobbit. You have The Matrix has a sequel. So a lot of people don't count those as sequels.
See, the
though.
ones that work were always intended as continued stories. Lord of the Rings was 3 books, right?
So it had to continue.
So
right?
it works as a
Right.
complete story because it was designed that
Right.
way. Whereas the Matrix, they sat down and they were like, "How can we squeeze some more cash out of this thing?"
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
and so it's not a natural continuation of the original story.
Right, like
the original
like
ends.
the weapons.
Yeah,
Right.
Lethal Weapon is its own self-contained
Are
movie.
they
Right.
rebooting that series again?
Which one?
Which one's that?
The Matrix series?
You're talking about making a young Morpheus movie.
Oh,
Is that what it
yeah.
is now?
Young Morpheus,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Because I don't want to see a reboot.
Okay,
of
what
the
about
Matrix.
Blade Runner then?
Oh,
That's a sequel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a sequel.
No.
And I got to tell you, as far as sequels go, I did not want to see this movie happening. It's one of those like
a little late.
Again, I don't like sequels.
But
typically.
yeah.
It's a little
Excuse me.
late.
I mean-
Okay, it's a little late.
35 years later?
But
At least.
but Denis Villeneuve is directing.
Yeah.
Okay, there you
Do
go.
you know who he is?
Yeah, of course.
Arrival, right? You know, right? Sicario.
Yeah, Canadian.
Fucking awesome filmmaker.
Yeah,
I
Sicario.
can't wait to see what he can do with that.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I'd be like,
Plus,
I
you
wouldn't
got
go see
Harrison Ford's back in it, and since he did Han Solo,
I just
Han Solo
don't know
I can't
about
wait.
Ryan Gosling though.
Thank you.
Like he's hit or
Thank
miss.
you.
He's hit or miss,
He
right?
is hit or
Yeah.
miss.
Thank you.
Totally
He is
hit or
hit or
miss.
I agree
miss.
with you. The Driver, okay.
Yeah,
But
right.
That, but that
Oh.
was a sequel. No, it was a remake. That was a remake. Excuse
Well,
me.
it's
Kind of,
almost
yeah,
like a reboot.
yeah.
a reboot kind of.
Yeah, because you got the Ryan
what's his name?
The hell's
There's
his name?
earlier.
Ryan O'Neal.
Rhino. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
supposed to be Steve McQueen.
Of
Okay,
course it
so
was. You
for-
can
for
watch
those-
it.
for
You
those
can
that
watch
don't
it and
know-
see that he's
For those who don't know,
it
there's a
should
movie
be
called
him in it.
It's called Driver.
Yeah.
Driver, and it's with Ryan O'Neal, and it was supposed to star Steve McQueen.
which has an absolutely egregious editing continuity problem.
Oh, it's a really bad movie. I bought it because directed by Walter
Walter Hill.
Yeah.
Walter Hill,
I
yeah.
bought it because of that, and I was like, this is a bad movie.
Yeah.
Bad movie. So Drive is similar, but yet much different. But it's called
Yeah.
Drive, and Ryan Gosling is just aces in it.
He's perfect in it.
I
Yeah,
kind
he's
of like fell in love with him at that point. I was like, I want to see what this guy can do.
Yeah.
Kind of like my Tom Hardy love.
Sure.
Like I want to see anything that guy's in.
Yeah.
Like when I see him in it, I'm like, I'm watching
it's
that
gonna be
because
good.
he's gonna be good. And then since Drive though, the Ryan Gosling movie like it's not always.
mean,
it's very hit or miss.
I like him in Only God Forgives.
Okay.
I don't
Same
like,
director.
I don't like Nice Guys.
Did
I
not like him in
didn't
Dice
buy him
Games.
100% in La La Land.
I still haven't seen that yet.
It's good. You should see it. It's actually I actually really like it. Tina did too. She watched like 5
Anything
times.
else he's in? Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just
not-
don't.
I'm
I
not
don't get
feeling
him. I mean, he's a handsome guy, but that's about
He
it.
has charisma with the right material.
There
I don't
you
know
go.
what kind of actor he is because I see him kind of all over the place.
Sure.
And I see him trying to inflect different voices, which doesn't work sometimes. Like in Nice Guys, he tried to act drunk. And when he acted drunk, I'm like, have you been drunk before? Maybe get him drunk because he doesn't act drunk. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know when somebody who's acting drunk is
He
somebody
was
who's drunk.
embarrassing. He was embarrassing Dudley Moore at that point. He
Absolutely.
totally was. Dudley Moore was like, oh, God.
Dude, he doesn't even know
Hang
what
it
he's
up,
doing.
kid.
Yeah, seriously. But I love him, and I because of Drive. Drive kind of like got this like he kind of cemented
put the
himself
character
in.
in.
Yeah,
How
did
many,
put the
how many
character.
movies are there where an actor or a director is at the peak in that movie and then they never hit that again?
Michael Cimino.
Michael Cimino is a great example of that. Deer Hunter.
Yeah.
And then downhill from there.
Yeah, he just died, didn't he, just recently?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
He was kind of had his own demons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after having success from the Deer Hunter, then going into Heaven's Gate and being a critical flop,
Yeah.
financial flop too, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
financial flop,
big time
too.
flop.
Plus
Lost a
other-
lot of
other
He never made anything
personal
else after that,
issues.
so I think it really
Well,
his psyche
was,
took a
he
big
was
hit.
trying. I mean, he was like Year of the Dragon,
Oh, yeah.
which
that's
is
right,
plagued
Mickey
by a
Rourke?
lot of problems.
Mickey Rourke?
With
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he did a remake of The Hours that didn't go anywhere.
What's
And then
The
he
Hours?
made a he's got one in the 90s too that didn't go anywhere. Like he just fell off. Yeah. And he was his reputation was he was very difficult to work with. He was very demanding, very like an introverted guy, like in his own head, but bully on the set, and yeah,
Sure.
it just didn't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
yeah.
You know.
And I,
You think they blacklisted him, kind of?
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
he fell out of favor with Heaven's Gate,
Sure.
and they just didn't let him back in. Hollywood's a very particular society.
It's
They cannot let you
funny
back
that
in.
way, isn't
Look
it?
at what happened to Mel Gibson.
Thank you.
He's one of those
Oh,
talented guys.
exactly.
Was one of those talented.
Yeah, it's one of those
people
where
in
you're
Hollywood,
like
yeah.
you hate what he said, but you're like, God, you're so good at what you do.
Well, you know what though?
He's
So
back.
good at
The
what
thing is
yes,
he
and
just
I'm so
said-
glad he's so good at what he does.
He said things on record in public, but it's not any worse than a lot of. If you could record half of what Hollywood's conversations are behind closed doors and listen to them, they'd all be out of work.
they would all be.
I'd be
on
They'd all be out of
terrified.
work.
And,
Yeah.
and
Lots
that's
of
the tough
therapy.
part about it.
Yeah,
is-
exactly. You'd be like he said what?
I'd be, especially some of the horror stories with some of the young actors.
Yeah.
You know, the young actors.
Yeah, and they go through a lot of shit, man,
I mean,
and
just
it's
some of them.
tough.
Like, complete stories you read. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
You know, the child actors.
Oh
Oh,
God, yeah.
man.
Oh,
with
that
the
whole
young producer,
that whole
the producers.
horrible thing.
And just,
yeah.
it's like, and especially it's a boys' club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
End of story.
And
Yep.
and end scene.
Yeah.
Chapter 2.
Exactly. Chapter 2. Click.
Rubbish.
So rubbish. What's your least, Brian? Your least favorite sequel?
Least favorite.
Rubbish.
Man, let me think about this one. Least favorite sequel, which just came out recently. Terminator series.
Oh. Anyone in particular, or just the fact that they kept going?
Well, the last few just completely sucked.
Okay, right. I haven't even watched the last couple, so
It's really. I mean, I don't understand how you can. I understand it, but you take a concept like that and just botch it.
Right.
100% botch it.
I remember seeing it in the theater first came out.
Yeah.
You know,
Me and my
I
dad went to see it.
I
Yeah.
loved it. Being a young kid, blown away. Sci-fi is just the greatest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden, the second one, oh my God, it's incredible. Then the third, and like, okay. Then later on, it just.
yeah.
When you start feeling embarrassed for the movie when you're watching it,
That's
you know
you're-
something's bad.
you know
Like,
you're
you
in-
feel
you're in a bad-
embarrassed
you're in
for
a
it,
bad
like,
way.
Oh, you
Thank
poor,
You're in a
poor
bad
Arnold,
way.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, you need the money? Like,
Yeah.
what's, like,
Because I remember when the first one came out, it came out pretty close to Halloween. And there was another movie out called Terror in the Aisles, which was just a showing like clips of horror films for the past 40 years. And for some reason, like I totally wanted to go see that.
Sure.
My dad was like, let's go see this Terminator thing about the robot. And I was like, I hadn't seen any commercials for it. I'm like, I want to see Terror in the Aisles. He's like, okay, well, let's go see this one. And then next week we'll go see Terror in the Aisles. He's like, all right, I was upset. And blown away with the Terminator.
Yeah.
Blown away.
Terminator,
And I never
oh,
saw
yeah,
Terror
yeah,
in the
yeah.
Aisles. Yeah.
Is that right?
I saw it on HBO or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So So, did we get a least favorite sequel?
Least favorite sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did
he
you-
said the Terminator.
That's right. I'm sorry.
franchise,
Okay. So then, what was yours?
yeah. I don't think we've beat this up 100 times, haven't we?
Yeah. So which one do you pick?
Can I pick least favorite remake or reboot, or does it have
You
to
can
be a
pick
sequel?
any of the categories.
I'm gonna say not that it's a favorite movie of mine, the original, but to take an original concept that was obviously had a lot of a creative, hard energy in it, and created a franchise, and then the remake, reboot, whatever it was so devoid of any creative energy and by the numbers was
Okay.
the remake they made of Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, it
Oh,
was
the reboot. The
so-
reboot?
Yeah, was
That's so
horrible.
atrocious.
Yeah,
Like
Who
like-
wants to see that little
like the
shit
first
be?
one-
He's not
Yeah.
even the
like
same.
the first one is this
Bullshit.
really scrappy production, and they get inventive effects and pulling as much as you can out of the budget and created a whole series. And then this reboot thing is so lazy, and so you had
It
all
wa-
this great material
It was
to work
bad.
with.
It was
Yeah,
bad.
It's just,
It was bad.
yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. You gotta bust out of here. That's too bad.
It's definitely an honor.
Hey, wait,
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
do, I want to give mine
Cut
because
everything
I act
out.
like I don't know what I'm talking
I
about
gotta do
sometimes.
some
So
work tonight. I gotta
let
work
me give you
Tuesday
my
night.
least favorite
Thanks
sequel.
for coming though.
No, yeah.
It's been
No,
a
thank
pleasure.
you. Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Before you leave,
I'm bad. I'm sad. I had to leave. I got to work.
I know. This is good, but it happened,
Yeah.
right? Okay, my least favorite sequel,
Yes.
Indiana Jones 4,
Okay.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I can
I'm not.
see that.
I'm not shocked at that.
Fuck you
I
for
can see
making that
that.
movie, right? Just bullshit.
We understand your pain, Jim.
Yeah.
We understand your pain.
Brian, hey man, listen.
Sure. I don't wanna hold
I'm
you guys
glad.
up.
I'm glad that you had a chance to come in. This is cool.
Thank
This is
you.
very cool. It's good seeing you.
Thank you.
I haven't
Thank
seen
you.
you in a long. And
Yeah,
it's
it's been a
been.
while.
It's been.
Thank you
it's
for
been,
the likes
it's been
on
a
the
while.
SoundCloud and the
Yeah, man.
and
Oh,
the,
no,
and
I'll
the
keep
comments
on
and
pushing
everything
that.
else.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Definitely keep on putting the word out. I want to
It's
hold
good
you
seeing you,
guys
brother.
up, but I just want to say all time Clint Eastwood, The Good, the Bad, and Ugly series.
Oh,
Oh
All time.
yes,
One
very
of the, some of
Oh.
the greatest.
fantastic.
can I ask you one more question
Yeah.
before you leave?
Sure.
Favorite Kurosawa movie?
Yojimbo.
Oh,
Ooh, very nice.
because you like spaghetti westerns. No doubt. No doubt. We're gonna talk about that one day.
Let
Right
you
on.
guys keep it rolling. Thank you, man. You good? All right. Yeah.
All right.
All right, man.
Thanks, man.
Nice to
guys
meet you again.
enjoy.
Take it easy.
We'll do.
Be well, sir.
Thank you.
And you have your jacket on like upside down and shit.
We get it out of here.
Right on. Okay, so
And then there were two.
And then we're down to two. So what do you think you would Okay, so we attributed the money, right, to making sequels, right? And that's the reason why we have sequels. But why should you even fucking do it if the story's not there? It can't be for the money. You can't
Sure
do
it
it.
is. They don't care, Jason.
But that's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see a movie just
But
because
you're the
it's
audience.
there.
But you're the audience.
So I don't matter. I'm paying the
you're
ticket.
you're the consumer. Like you want the good content. You want the good story. You want.
Well, I'm a
those things.
snob,
And
sure.
you're gonna go see like even if I would have called you on opening day of Indiana Jones Crystal Skull and said, Jason, do not go see this movie. It's freaking horrible. It'll ruin your total concept of Indiana Jones. Don't go.
I would have still saw it.
Of course you
Yeah,
would
yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah,
course
yeah.
you
I would have still saw it.
Yeah, of course
Absolutely,
you would have.
100%.
So it doesn't. It's just money. They know we're gonna go see it. They know whoever's gonna go see it.
They
know
don't
can
care
get-
if it resonates. They don't care if it
It's
really.
far more financially beneficial to make a sequel that's going to make a bunch of money in the first 2 weeks,
Okay.
if it can last that long, than to risk an original concept that maybe nobody will go see. It's a hit or miss situation.
Interesting.
Whereas the sequels, you're going to get an opening weekend out of it.
Yeah.
And you're going to get cable plays and whatever else.
Right. It's gonna keep going.
Yeah,
You're gonna keep making money.
There's a
on
lot
it.
more.
Okay.
There's less risk involved in making Hangover 3 than there is in making Life. Life was an original science fiction film. It was very competently made.
Right.
It probably came out a little too close to Alien.
Ooh.
But basically tanked. But it's a decent movie.
Right.
But you can open the Smurfs in Wonderland, and even though if it's good or it's bad, and families are still going to go see it. They got to
Hey.
take their kids somewhere Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
It's risk. It's just risk and reward.
And I
that's
get
all.
it. Yeah, that's part of it. You got to get people in the seats because there's a lot of options out there right now. You have every week there are X amount of movies. There's so much coming out that you have to stand. You have to be able to stand your ground to be able to last
Yeah.
more than a week.
Yeah, like you can make your original films, but in order to make original films and take a risk on them, you've got to have franchise films and sequels as your safety net.
Almost like your collateral.
Yeah, it's totally your collateral.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the,
you have
the,
your
the
sure
wherewithal
things.
to know that
Yeah,
you
like
can
if
make
you're in
something like
sales, you've got your 5 big accounts that always buy from you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can venture outside that and you can, go door to door and try to get new business and so on and
Right.
so forth. But you've got your mainstays.
that. Exactly.
And so Disney has its Marvel and it has its animated films and it has Star Wars. Like they have basically they run the gamut on blockbuster films now.
Right.
Like last year, like 4 of the top 5 films were theirs. Something ridiculous like that.
oh my God.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
ridiculous. Yeah. And like Star Wars, Civil War,
All in the same year.
Zootopia.
Yeah.
Well, all in the same year.
All in the same
There's
year.
another one that I'm missing, but then this year, look at it. You're going to have.
Oh,
you've
it's
already
a
got
year.
Beauty
It's
and
another
the
year for
Beast.
sequels. Well, that's a reboot.
It's a remake, reboot, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, just a live action reboot.
So what have we
Whatever.
had this year? So this year we've had John Wick 2 sequel.
Sequel.
Logan is a sequel.
It's a sequel. You have
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, a reboot.
Remake, reboot. Fast 8 sequel.
Sequel.
Pretty soon we're going to have Alien Covenant.
It's a
Reboot,
prequel,
sequel, whatever.
prequel,
It's like fits all the different.
prequel reboot.
Yeah, it fits them all the
Guardians of the Galaxy
2
sequel.
sequel. Wonder Woman. It's original, but it's not.
It's been introduced, so
Been introduced.
that's a tricky one. That actually doesn't have a definition.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of
Like
like in
you
the same
introduced
ballpark of
her,
what it
yeah.
already is, but yet it's different. So that kind of falls in its own like little thing.
Like one of the only real original films coming out in the summer is Dunkirk.
True. Okay. But then go back to Wonder Woman. It's not just the fact that it's an established property, so it's
Yeah.
in the same conversation.
It's a known
It's
quantity.
a known quantity. It's
You're not
established
trying to
property.
introduce anybody to Wonder Woman.
Right. So
not
everyone
trying
knows
to,
who
like,
she
make
is. So
anyone aware.
now all of a sudden, it becomes a reboot, if you will.
Yeah, it isn't like when they introduced
Right.
Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel, whatever her name is.
Right. Now that's an original property, right? Or well,
Right,
I mean,
that'll be a harder sell. But
that's not a
But if
remake,
they can
reboot.
sell Doctor Strange and they can sell Guardians of the Galaxy, they can sell a hot chick in a spandex outfit. It's not
and
gonna
it's
be
Brie
that hard.
Larson, so
And
she's
it's Brie Larson. Yeah.
she's pretty hot. So I'm down with it. And I mean, at some point, I don't care. Just make good stories, man. That's all I fucking care
Yeah,
about.
but
But here's what I hate about
don't
sequels.
You, but don't
And
you
I-
think
just-
now that sequels and franchise films are better than they used to be? I think they are because they recognize that if you make a crappy sequel, you're not going to make 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay,
So you better make a good movie.
are we? Is it? Are they better than they were?
I think they're
Because
better.
I think some of my favorites are from the past.
Well, I think in relative terms, let me rephrase that. You used to get a lot of shitty sequels, like one-offs,
Like your
and
Lethal
crap,
Weapons, your Rambos,
RoboCop 2,
RoboCops, right?
You know,
Right.
your
Sequels for sequels'
three
sake.
men and a baby, three
Capitalizing
men
on
and a
that,
lady,
right?
or whatever it is.
Right.
But now I think they recognize that we need to make this into it's got to be a series or a franchise or a shared universe.
Right.
So we can't make a bad movie. It's got to be pretty decent.
It's got to put people in the seats.
Yeah.
That's all they fucking care about. That's
Because
why
they
we're making
don't-
Fast 8.
It
Fate
isn't
of
like
the Furious.
see with Fast 8 though, they don't set out to make a cash in. You can watch the movie and see they were honestly trying to make what they thought was a badass movie.
Nah.
They were not successful. You don't pour $200 million into something and think it's going to be crap.
Well, no. Don't take my reservation to say that at all. No, I know they have faith that they're gonna make money from
Well,
it.
they've never made the thing about those movies is even though I like 5, 6, and part of 7.
Yeah, careful. Yeah.
Is those aren't by definition good movies. They've always been junk. You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah.
entertaining junk.
Right. It's
But now
it's a
the
different kind
junk's-
of junk.
Now
right.
the junk's gotten a little too much sugar in it.
Right.
It's got a little bit too much Vin
Hey,
Diesel.
I'm gonna
you
stop
know.
you. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Uh-huh.
I will not let you talk about Fast and the Furious 8 anymore.
All right, it's done. I've talked about it twice. It fits the property mold, though.
It does.
fits the conversation.
It does, but I cannot. You're cut
Jason's
off.
got a vendetta against
You're
Vin Diesel.
Cut off on
Ever
the
since
Fast and
Riddick
Furious.
came out, he's had an issue with the man.
Okay, first of all,
and I
Vin
don't know
Diesel,
what it is.
if you would have made a good follow-up to Pitch Black, I know it's not you. It's David Twohy, who I actually really thought of as like the next one, like an up-and-coming filmmaker who I wanted to see, right? David Twohy. Is it Twohy?
Twohy, whatever it is.
So I wanted to see him do something after Pitch Black. He did something, the boat movie, the U-boat movie. Was it just U-boat or it was?
I think you're confusing him with Jonathan Mastow.
No. Jonathan Mastow also did a submarine movie, but
Oh, Twohy made the Ghost Story one.
Ghost Story, exactly.
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
submarine ghost story
It
movie.
was like Submerged
It's
or
actually
something
pretty cool.
like that.
Actually
Didn't
pretty
it have
cool.
Matthew McConaughey in it?
It might have.
In his down phase?
It might have.
When Matthew McConaughey
it was
went-
before he reached
'cause-
that kind of like.
Well, True Detective.
Status.
True Detective brought McConaughey back,
Oh well.
and then he was in that movie with the William Friedkin movie, which is a really good movie. And then he made the one about the guy who sold the pharmaceuticals. Drugstore. I wanted to say drugstore. Cover.
It's not that. It's
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, he was really good in that, by the way.
Yes, he's very good in that.
He
is.
deserved an Oscar for that. He was really, really good
Yeah.
in that movie. Yeah, he had a resurgence, that's for sure. He had a big resurgence,
Yes.
years of resurgence. That was really cool. But yeah, I don't know. David Twohy did like, I thought he was gonna be like, I thought Pitch Black was one of those like, this is fucking unique. It had a cool plot and a cool alien. You had a cool villain or anti-hero, right? And I thought Rhoda Mitchell was pretty sexy.
Pretty smoking hot.
Yeah, right. So you had some good elements in that movie, and you had David Keith.
David Keith adds an element of genre class to anything
Exactly,
he's in.
right?
Yes,
and I
yes,
thought
he
it was
does,
a pretty
yeah.
cool movie.
It is a good movie.
And
yeah.
then he kind of like the Ghost sub movie
Well-
was okay.
Well, I think his mistake was too. I think he's another victim. I think he's a Vin Diesel victim, is because they got together and they were.
Vin Victim.
He's a Vin victim, yeah, because they got together and we're gonna make now this is my new big character because I'm not gonna mess around with this crappy little Fast and Furious car racing thing. I'm gonna go out and make my Riddick trilogy.
Right.
And then get all blown up in the head, whatever I'm doing. I'm the baddest man on the planet. Then that thing comes out and is maybe like not even like a moderate success,
Okay, well,
and
so
then he fucks up a bunch of other shit.
but
And then
when
goes
did-
back to Fast and Furious?
but when did the Chronicles of Riddick come out?
Yeah, it
That
came
was
out.
that was like you talk about what they did to Vin Diesel, and that movie like encapsulates it
Yeah,
because it made him into this like
he's a superhero.
yeah, it's like
He's a
there's no
superhero, yeah.
reason why that character deserved that kind of follow-up movie.
No,
It should have been so much more of a
it should have been more of a Snake Plissken type thing.
exactly
Yeah.
put him in a situation that only he can get out of. Don't make him into some god, some like like put him on this pedestal. That just takes the mystique out of his character. So I think that was their flaw.
As soon as you make somebody too dangerous, too
All-powerful.
all-encompassing and all-powerful, you lose
okay.
it. You
so,
lose it.
So, talking sequels. Sequels. Did not like Thor. I did not like Thor. Liked Thor 2 better than Thor 1. Thor 3 is coming out, Ragnarok, and I don't want to beat a dead bush, but we talked about it. But I'm excited about it.
It's kind of hard not to be.
But the reason why I brought that up is because I don't like him because he's all powerful. He's a god. Who can stop him?
I think they do a really good job of not making him all powerful in the movies.
But he's supposed to be all powerful.
He's supposed to be more powerful than Superman,
right.
basically, right?
Right. I think
But
so.
in the movies-
don't nerds out there, don't hate me for saying that. I don't
Comic book fight.
I don't know. I think he's like
Superman and
he
Thor
should be
going at
equal
it.
with Superman.
So does that mean the Hulk is equal to Superman?
Does that mean Marvel has more awesome characters than just?
They have
Justice
far
League?
more.
Maybe.
Well, you got Green Lantern on the DC
But it's
side.
Green Lantern. Okay, so we need someone like Bob in here right now.
We
need Bob for
Let's
that
break it down.
conversation.
Let's break it down. You got Superman, Wonder Woman,
Okay.
Green Lantern,
Okay.
Martian Manhunter. He's a pretty powerful dude.
Yeah, not in that way though.
Yeah,
he's powerful in a different way. Mind
I don't know.
manipulation and
He's strong.
transparency and
He's strong.
I don't know if he's, okay.
Yeah, he's pretty strong.
Okay, I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I'm
There's
sure we
no
can
one
find
to
more
mess
Marvel.
around with in an arm wrestling contest. No.
Okay, so there's 4. Aquaman is supposed to be all powerful.
Aquaman's a god.
Okay, so there's 6, 5. I did
Flash
that.
or
That's
no?
5. No, he's just speed.
He's just fast.
Right, which
Right.
can do a bunch of crazy shit. But I think
But
it's
he's just
no.
fast.
I think
what
he's
about
just
Black
fast.
Adam?
Okay, so my nerd level does not go that way. I
I only
can't.
know about it because of Rock's going to play him. But I know that they're super powerful.
Very Superman-esque.
So I think DC's got the corner, has the corner on all powerful beings.
Maybe you're right.
Because
Thor. You're right. Captain Marvel
yeah,
and Hulk.
is he really all powerful?
Oh,
He
yeah.
can't be stopped. I
Wait.
guess he is. Yeah,
Pretty much.
can't fly.
Pretty much. If they were doing so, what's cool about Thor Ragnarok is they're taking 2 different properties of Marvel comic books. They're taking the Ragnarok Thor story with Planet Hulk, and they're combining them,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
why I'm kind of excited about it. Plus, it just looks. I'm the guy who did What We Do in the Shadows is Tiki.
Taki Wakita or what?
Taki, whatever his name is doing the movie. So I'm very curious, based upon finally watching that, based upon
Shame.
shame. I love the werewolf.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
Werewolf. That's awesome. That's good stuff. Okay, so there's a bunch of sequels that we haven't talked about, and I'm gonna take something back.
Who would win in a fight? The current Marvel Hulk or the current DC Superman?
Hulk.
Think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The DC Superman is not. He's not there yet.
He's kind of wimpy for a Superman.
He's not there yet, and I know you have a problem with that, and I'm okay with it because
Huge problem.
I believe that they have an end game making him into the vulnerable, bitchy little guy, into the guy that we think that we see when we see Christopher Reeve. I think we're seeing a progression of his character into
All right.
what he's going to be. That's
hope
my
so.
hope.
Okay.
Will it translate? I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you this. I'm going to say
Ask me.
I take something back. My favorite sequel,
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knight.
Hmm.
I'm not going to say what I said before. The Dark Knight,
Okay.
because that's a great sequel. It's better than the first. I think it propels because the villain's awesome, obviously, and the direction's great, and it's just a bigger movie. But there's a lot of other movies out there that we haven't talked about in the realm of sequels.
Well, because we've done it a lot.
Can I?
Hit him with me. Come
Can I-
on. What do you
can I
got? What do you got?
Because I have my computer up here.
Yeah. Jason's looking shit
So
up.
we have
I'm
no,
going
it just
totally
looked
off
up.
memory,
It's been
folks.
waiting here for me
Totally.
for the last couple hours. Color of Money,
Ooh, good sequel.
good sequel. Not a sequel that you wouldn't even know about unless you recognize the connection between Paul Newman's character, right? That's it. Of course, you have Terminator, which we talked about before. We have the Rambo movies, which the second one's actually really good. And the
second
fifth
one's
one
really
or
good.
the fourth one is
Fifth
actually
one. Fourth one. Fourth one's good.
just Rambo.
What didn't even hit on Rocky?
Rocky 2 is a good sequel.
I think Rocky 1's still better.
Rocky 1's better. It's a good
But
sequel.
then I like when he becomes a Superman in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Especially 4, he becomes a Superman.
He takes him
yeah.
to that
Oh, yeah,
stratosphere
man.
of being like
He's a
unstoppable.
machine, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Machine.
I mentioned Road Warrior, which was my initial favorite.
Uh-huh.
You know, because it's the go-to kind of
Right,
sequel,
right.
right?
Mhm.
How about Evil Dead 2?
Ooh, good call.
Yeah.
Computer.
Yep. Good call, computer.
Good call,
right?
computer.
Good call, Wikipedia.
Good call, Mackie.
Exactly. That's a good one.
That's a great sequel.
It's a good sequel. It's a good sequel because
That was never. I mean, that was definitely something that.
It's almost like a
Evil
reboot.
Dead 2, yeah, is interesting because it was obviously they retell the first movie in the first 5 minutes, and the rest of the movie is just a continuation of
exactly
the first movie.
Exactly.
So it's essentially what they did is now we have money to make the movie we wanted to make. We would have made this really goofy, crazy horror movie
Right.
before.
Right.
We just didn't have any money.
Right.
So and we're
Exactly.
atoning for all the horrible stuff. that
Exactly,
happened in the
which
first
is
movie.
kind of why I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
kind of like it more than I do the first one.
It's probably one of the only NC-17 films that I saw in the theater.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice tidbit there.
Me and
I
my
like
dad
that.
went to see that.
Oh, your dad's a rebel. Your
My
dad's
dad
a
was just
rebel.
like, "This looks cool."
That's awesome.
My dad's cool.
How about
Dad, you're cool.
Your dad, you're cool. How about That's going up. That's the wrong way. Those bad movies. Oh my God, bad movies. Okay, I'm just gonna read
Hit
them
me with
off.
one.
I
What's a
want to.
bad
I
one?
want to hit them off here.
What's a bad one?
We got Shrek 2, Matrix Reloaded, Russia with Love. Why are these movies coming up? It's like Money Made or some shit. Ace Ventura when Nature Calls, Anchorman 2.
That's too bad.
Chronicles of Riddick.
That's really too bad. Anchorman 2 is not a good movie.
Like the bad
it's
ones.
really upsetting.
Die Hard 2 takes that. Okay, we talked about earlier how you take that. Where you're supposed to it just reboots it. Mm-hmm. Die Hard 2 just redoes it. It takes the same situation and just redoes it.
That makes the same movie.
Exactly.
That's what sequels did from like 82 until 96.
Rubbish.
They just remade the movie.
Rubbish.
That movie
Okay.
sucks ass anyway.
It sucks ass. Okay, how about?
Was wildly popular in its day though.
It was definitely wildly popular. How about The Few Dollars More?
It's pretty damn good. What I like about those movies is the only connecting tissue in those films is him.
True.
That's
Different.
The only connecting tissue in
Is
any of
the
those
actor?
is just him.
The character even has a different name in every movie.
Which, if more films and what other film series does that?
Ooh.
I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2. Mad Max. The only connective tissue across the Mad Max films is Max.
Oh, right. I was thinking. Going with the
What
name.
were you thinking of?
I was thinking when you said name, I was like, it was supposed to be a name related thing, like this, like a different names.
No, it's just the fact that the only thing that's common
Is the character?
is the character.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of sequels are like got to bring in supporting characters,
Right.
And bring in this actor, and the wife is in it.
So you don't
and
have many
this.
of those, so that you have very few. That's an interesting topic right
a
there.
great
Like
way
how
to-
many do you have?
The
that are like
stories
that?
are all different, and he just happens to be a part of it.
That's what I thought Riddick should be. Different. That
Yeah.
character in
Yeah.
different areas. Snake Plissken. That character in different situations.
Yeah, they really shouldn't have done the. I understand why they did Escape from LA, but they should have just thrown him in a different situation.
That's a complete reboot.
Totally.
That's a remake of
That's
the
a
same
remake.
movie.
We got a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's real popular now.
Yeah.
We can make this big movie.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was the same exact storyline. It was kind of bogus. When
wasn't
it
kinda
comes down
bogus,
to
it
it,
was totally
It was
bogus.
very bogus.
It's the same movie.
It is the same.
just in LA.
Exactly. Okay, so how about Toy Story 2 or 3? Good sequels.
Great sequels.
Great sequels. How about Medea's Family Reunion?
Didn't see it.
Okay, I didn't see that either. Okay. Oh, in the reboot realm, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Excellent reboot.
Excellent
reboot.
Talk about taking a material that is like beloved by a genre, like just it's beloved by a certain group of people, right? It's a history, it's a classic. And then you take that storyline and you redo it, where you bring it back to way before then, and with the start of it.
Yes.
That's an awesome concept. And then you made that character of Caesar. Oh my God, so powerful. Like, I felt more emotion for a character that wasn't there than most humans.
Yeah, Caesar is one of the great original. I consider him an original character. He's one of the great original characters of this century, in film.
Right.
He is. He's an extremely original creation.
100%.
You can anchor the film by him. That's why I was so disappointed by the second movie.
Okay, how do you feel about the third one coming up? Matt Reeves still directing.
I'm excited to see it.
Are you excited? Are you excited to see it, or just curious? Because you're hoping that it's going to follow up something else.
It's got Woody Harrelson in it.
Come on.
Matt Reeves is. What's wrong with Woody Harrelson?
Woody Harrelson is fine, but don't.
Come on now.
He doesn't. He was on the Hunger Games too.
I've got a different opinion of Woody Harrelson.
He's also going to be in Han Solo movie. He's going to be the Han Solo. He's going to be the mentor of Han
He's the
Solo.
magic.
I'm not saying that.
He's the
he
magic
is
that
not-
makes films happen.
I'm not saying I don't like Woody
Can you
Harrelson.
imagine Zombieland without Woody Harrelson? What do you got?
No,
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying having him in it doesn't mean it's going to be successful.
I'm saying it is. I'm saying by having him in the movie, it's going to be a good movie.
All
Watching
right.
Woody Harrelson score off against Caesar,
So then we're
all over
locked.
it.
So we're locked in for Han Solo. Then that must be pretty awesome, right?
of course it's going to be good. It's got Woody Harrelson in it.
I'm gonna drink
Come on
Brian's
now.
rest of his booze here
You should do that.
because Brian didn't drink his booze, so I'm just gonna pour that into my glass.
Do we need to get out of here at all, or what time is it?
Yeah, see what kind of time we have here. He's just waving at us like, fuckers. years. Okay, how about this as a sequel?
I'm not off my Woody Harrelson thing yet.
Oh, no, I know.
I
but
just think that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's my biggest problem with it. I'm thinking that. Let me get off the second one because I hate it. I think Matt Reeves went from lower budget stuff to Cloverfield. Let Me In, which I think
he did Let Me In.
Which
That's
I think
right.
was good in its own way, not as anywhere near as good as the original film.
No.
And then he graduated to, I think.
Was
There's
it-
more fault in the screenplay for the second Apes movie than his, even though he makes some bad choices.
I think
So I'm curious.
Rupert Everett is a better filmmaker.
Rupert Wyatt.
What did I say?
Rupert Everett.
He's an actor.
I don't know who that is.
He's an actor.
Okay.
He's not directing.
He's not
movies.
anywhere near as good as Woody
No,
Harrelson.
he's not. He's definitely not as good as Woody Harrelson.
Not as good as Woody Harrelson or memorable. You would never say Woody Wyatt.
Okay.
You would never say that.
Rupert Wyatt. I think what has he done besides Rise?
He made that gambler film with Marky Mark.
Okay, so I kind of liked the movie.
Uh-huh.
Didn't like Mark Wahlberg in it. He wasn't very likable. He didn't like the character
He's
very
only
much.
good in certain roles.
Yeah,
He
he
really-
only follows
he's
certain
not-
things.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to watch. But you kind of like hated him because he kept doing the same thing over and over again. So you're like,
he's still
you're a fucking idiot.
he's
You
still
kept
a Tony.
gambling throughout the whole movie. You're like,
that's what gamblers do.
I know. So it was called a
Uh-huh.
gambler. So you shouldn't be surprised, right?
Right.
You're like, what's my problem?
He's still paying back the devil.
It's called
the
He's
devil
Gonna
for,
Die, and he dies, and I'm mad.
What's that movie called? The Happening. He's still paying for that. He's still paying for that.
Shalamalan is paying for that still.
It's like, what's happening? What's
The
happening?
trees are gonna kill us.
Have you ever seen the Honest trailer for that?
No, no, and I should.
When they run back through the who stars in it, and they get to Zoe Deschanel's character, and they say, "And a mannequin," because she's just standing there the whole time. With this wide, and that's what
awesome.
Shyamalan's direction was. Just stand there. And
Pretty
look.
much. Okay, I got one for you.
Yes,
Blade 2.
I love Blade 2.
Great sequel.
Blade 2,
Better than the original.
totally.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
That's what made me think Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
That's
Yeah.
what made me think he was going to be like the next kind of like
That's what I'm
badass
saying.
filmmaker.
That's like one of his like best put together movies. Like
I
American
think it's
ones,
actually
for sure.
I think it's actually his best American film.
It
Totally. is.
it might be his best American film because Pan's Labyrinth is not American film. So
No, it's not.
no, it is his best American film. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great movie.
When he didn't make 3, I was like, I remember I saw Blade 2 opening night at the show at the Southfield Star Theaters.
oh,
Is that still there?
it's there.
Wow.
Yeah,
That has massive
Paul and I went to go
theaters
see
in it.
Arrival there. It was sold out,
Wow.
and we went to see Star Wars: Force Awakens. It was the only thing playing.
Why not?
So
That's a pretty good alternate choice.
it's a good trade off.
What did
But
you
I
thi-
we,
what did
but
you-
we
what
went
did you
there.
think of
it
it?
was
What
Tina's
did you think
40th
of it?
birthday, so we were there in
Wait a
Detroit
minute.
dropping off our women.
It was The Force Awakens because Force Awakens came out at Christmas.
Yeah.
Arrival came out in October.
Yeah, yes. So because of that, Arrival only had like 2 shows. And we picked that theater because it was near Detroit where we were going to be at dropping Tina and Connie
Uh-huh.
off. And so it had like 2 shows.
Yeah.
One at the time from perfect for us.
Yeah, right.
And it was sold out.
Wow.
So it was like the next day was gone. So it was like a month later after it came out or 2 months after it, but it had a good run. It had a really good run.
It had made a lot of money. Yeah.
Right. And then after the
good money.
Oscars, it came out again for a couple weeks here in Michigan. So, but at that point, yes, it was still playing, but very minimally. That was one of the only theaters in town that it had.
So you
a
didn't see
theater
Force
to.
Awakens, you saw Rogue One.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I was confused.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
The
Wrong
liquor-
year.
The liquor's talking.
Wrong. I've had way too much liquor.
Well,
Yes.
Look at the bottle.
I know. We've
So-
had like half of the 4 roses. We've had 2 of the roses.
We've had 2 roses so far.
Okay. I have more for you.
So, anyway, so when I saw Blade 2
Yes.
at that theater, opening night, sold out, me and my buddy, I would say I was one of 5 white people in the audience. And the crowd ate that movie alive. Like, they loved it. It was one of the loudest theater experiences I've ever been in. It was a total blast.
No kidding.
Every fight scene, every time he shot someone, every quip, when he killed Renrick.
Yeah.
Or, the crowd went crazy. They went crazy for the fight scenes. It was one of the most fun experiences in a theater ever.
Interesting.
It really was. Yeah.
See, that's
They were
what.
totally into it.
But that's what gets me about movies is the experience. It's one thing you can't see a movie. Okay, you might be able to experience a movie for the first time on video or DVD or cable or whatever,
Yeah.
and it might be amazing.
Right.
But there are times where seeing it in the theater with people around you and the energy. That's what we love about movies, right?
Well,
it's
I've got
that
a
it's
lot-
that it's
there's
that energy.
There's a lot of movies that I have watched since I've seen them in the theater and been like, that's just not as good without that first experience.
Right.
One of them, one in that similar vein is Do the Right Thing.
Oh.
Like Do the Right Thing, you could feel the temperature in the theater, and you could I was way blown out high when I saw it. Jesus Christ.
90.
No, 80, 88 or 89. I was in high school. Yeah.
Smoking early.
I was smoking way early.
No wonder you don't smoke with me
That's
anymore.
all we.
No wonder he doesn't smoke with me anymore.
Yeah, I've got to ease my way out. And look, folks, the pot Jason smokes is just way too strong. That's all I got to say. It's way too strong.
I don't smoke pot.
For the record.
For the record.
That's like one of those great political interviews.
I
Take the fifth on that
I
one.
never smoked pot before.
You lean back. What about when you sold weapons to Iran?
No comment.
I don't recall that. And so that was our thing. Me and my buddy Patrick Kerher is sorry Pat, but
That's right.
yeah, we would get high. We'd get high in the parking lot and go in the theater. And back in those days, that whatever you were smoking was by the time you got into the cinema, it was just about hitting you because you waited in line, waited in line for popcorn. By the time you got into the theater, you're pretty high. You're pretty high.
ready to go.
You're pretty high.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
that's the battle I have. Is like, when do I take my gummy bear? Do I eat it like while I'm in line? Do I eat it while I'm going to the movie theater? So like it hits me like as I'm getting to the theater. So I always wonder like, when should I take my gummy bear?
Yeah, like
And
because
that's
now when
all
you
that
offer
determine it.
now when you
When did I
offer to me,
eat?
I'm just like, did I eat recently? Do I want to do this? How fucked up do I want to be?
You know what? The answer is always yes.
You got me on Creed bad. You totally got me
Oh,
on Creed. Because we were there for a 3-hour film,
And we.
and then watched Creed, which was like 92 minutes, and I walked out of there with no idea what to do with myself.
Okay, so
I'm like, I can't go home.
I take my buddy Mike to see 37 Assassins with Keanu Reeves.
47 Ronin.
Yes. I don't fucking know. Yeah, it's very forgettable, so I don't remember.
This
Maybe.
podcast is coming to an end soon, folks.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're almost
47 Ronin?
Ronin.
Okay.
Yeah, with Woody
And-
Harrelson.
Really?
Totally.
So, I got him so fucking. I gave him like way too much. It was like a
Who is this again now?
Mike.
Mike?
Yeah.
I didn't even think he smoked pot.
No, I gave him a Rice Krispie treat.
Oh, Jason.
And I gave him way too much. Like I broke it off. I'm like, here, take this. And we walked in. He was eating it. And I'm like, this is a fucking lot. I'm eating right now. This is a fucking lot.
Right.
So we're in the theater, like an hour and a half into the theater. He's freaking out. I'm freaking out. And I'm like, just hanging in my seat. Just close your eyes.
What were you seeing? What were you watching again?
47 Ronin.
Was it fucking you up?
When it got to like the mystical, crazy shit, I started like freaking out, and I was like, I hope he's okay because I'm freaking out, right? So we walk out of the theater, and Mike walks out, and I'm like, hey, do you want to go? I'm gonna go to the restroom. He's like, no, I gotta go. I gotta walk out. I gotta walk out. I gotta walk out. I gotta walk out. And he kept walking. I'm like, oh shit, I see that look in your eyes, Mike. I know. So I kind of walked him out, got to the car, and we sat there for a while. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, no, man. No, man, I'm not good. I'm not good at all.
He had transformed into Clint Eastwood.
Exactly. It was bad, man. It was bad. So I from that point on, I'm like looking at the person like, how much do I give them? Like a little bit.
Yeah,
Come back for more if you need more. I don't want that to happen again. Much like Creed, that was a bad experience.
Well, see,
Sorry.
I was fine in the movie,
And we enjoyed the
it
fuck
wasn't
out of
until I was driving and I was like, I got sensory overload,
Yeah.
and I never would have thought of this, but you're more experienced in these matters than I am these days. Is I pulled over in the gas station, like, turn the radio off. You turn the radio off and calm settle back into the car.
Yes.
I was like, wow, Jason, that was pretty smart.
Yep.
I never would have thought to turn
Yep.
the radio
Turn the
off.
radio off. Just calm yourself shit down. Because
Uh-huh.
music fucking gets to you, man. It like it
Yeah.
excites you. It gets your blood pumping. Your head's moving. You're just like, I fucking love it. And then you take it down. You're just down. Take it down.
Yep.
Okay. So other sequels. I went through a list here. It's all garbage. It's all rubbish.
Is it?
It's rubbish. It's all like the 4 or 5 sequel aspect from Species to Terminator, Back to the Future, which you have. I love Back to the Future 2. And I have a fond memories of Back to the Future 3. But they are just kind of
Intertwined. Careful.
redos of each other.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to keep hitting this microphone. I know it's coming to a close.
You get closer and closer to it as the night goes on. You're way up here. Now you're like,
I don't give a fuck.
So there's this
So
bad movie
you
coming
got
out.
Final Destination, Screams. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So the point of the matter
yeah,
is,
but you didn't like the first movie.
No,
right?
That's the thing is sequels need to. When it comes down to it, the point of this conversation is sequels need to. Instead of just being about monetary reasons, which is what they always are, right? Tell a story that fucking takes that first idea and takes it somewhere else. Star Wars to Empire takes it somewhere else. Godfather 1 and Godfather 2 takes it somewhere else. A totally different type of tale. It tells a story which resembles the first, continues the first, but tells you something different. Too often we get the bullshit of just Lethal Weapons and Predators and the Alien sequels are just all repetitive bullshit. It's bullshit. Home Alone 2 and 3?
Well, that's a whole.
Well, did we need Home Alone 2 and 3?
The studio
Did we
did.
need Ghostbusters 2?
The studio did.
We didn't need Ghostbusters 2.
Studio did,
We
yeah.
didn't need Die Hard 2 or 3 or 4 or
Studio
5.
needed them, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's bullshit. So I always get angry
Look,
because of
if you
sequels.
can't put Dwayne the Rock Johnson in it, don't make it.
Right.
Now, if you had Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Woody Harrelson,
Aha.
oh, you're
Now we're
on
talking
to
about
something.
now we're talking about some.
So remember when I wrote in my little mini review that Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham should have their own movie?
Yes.
They're making a spin-off
No.
with those two guys in it.
It's
And I will go see that movie.
it's a spinoff of the Fast and the Furious
Of those two
characters.
guys. Of those two guys, yeah. The two characters in its own movie.
So will that
And
be
I
like,
will go see that
Will that
movie.
be Fast and the Furious 9?
No, it'll probably be called
Furious and the Fast.
Hobbs and whatever the guy's name is in the movie.
Hobbs
Hobbs and Deckard or whatever it is. I don't know.
Calvin and Hobbs.
That'd be a better title.
That's a
And
cartoon
Jason
comic, right?
Statham would be the Tiger.
Oh.
And the captain of their police force would be Woody Harrelson. And the
Shouldn't he-
villain would be Tom Hardy.
Shouldn't the captain of any police force be either Woody Harrelson or David Keith
Or Reginald Vell Johnson.
or Gary Oldman? Or Reginald Bell Johnson.
That should be him. Damn you, Urkel.
Reginald Bell Johnson.
Reginald Vell Johnson should be the police
With his,
chief in all
with
those
his
films.
Twinkies,
With
but
his-
he has to
with
have
his
a Twinkie
Twinkies,
in
yeah.
in everything.
Mm-hmm.
As far as sequels go, Craig, obviously I'm against them. But if,
As well you should be.
as right, but I think you made a good point a couple times throughout the podcast. Is we have been in a period now where they're taking better care of the subject material to make the sequels better.
They have to protect it because
Right.
they only got one. If they fuck it up, they got to
They
find a
want
new
to make
franchise.
them more right. It's all about franchising now. It's not about sequels, franchising. So you have how about Tomb Raider? You have Tomb Raider, which started with Laura Croft with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Two of those didn't do anything.
Right.
So now they're going to reboot it with the younger Laura Croft, which the video game did first,
Yeah.
which was actually really cool. Take it back a step, prequel it, and now they're going to do it again. Now I don't necessarily see it. I don't want to see that as a movie. I'd rather see the Naughty Dog Uncharted as a video game,
They've
as
been
a
trying
movie.
to make that for a while.
It's too similar to Indiana Jones and Laura Croft. It's them together.
It seems to me like with that movie's timing. If it comes out in the same year as like a Mission Impossible or a James Bond, I think it could get swallowed up in the marketplace.
It
A lot of those things are just timing.
It is timing.
And
It is
who's in it?
timing.
Like who's gonna play? What's his name? Drake. Like
Chris
who's
Pratt.
I've got no interest in that.
I don't have interest, but he is the perfect character to play or actor to play that character.
Well, he can play. What I like about him is he doesn't play. I haven't seen all his films, but he doesn't play. He doesn't play unstoppable. He plays a guy who can get hurt.
Okay, that's
Seems
true.
like he does.
He does, but I think he can play. He just has the same kind of charisma as Drake does in those video games, and those video games are very movie-esque.
Are they?
Very cinema-like. When you play them, you feel like you're playing in a movie.
Interesting.
That's what makes them very appealing to me as far as making them into movies. Much like Resident Evil, the games are very movie-esque. Make those.
Mila
into the movie.
Jovovich just got hotter as she got older.
Oh.
She just I don't know what her and Luke Besson are sipping in the bed.
Do you
in
know
the
what I like
backyard
to see?
there.
Sequel-wise,
Who? What?
the Fifth Element sequel.
Well, you're gonna get it this summer. I mean, Valerian is basically a sequel to the Fifth Element, in spirit.
In spirit.
In
Okay, thank you
spirit.
for clarifying, because I was about to fucking.
No, I don't want to
Come all
see.
over the screen over
I don't
here.
want to see Mila Jovovich and Bruce Willis in a movie. No, Bruce Willis has gotten lazy. Maybe the material would elevate
true.
him. Maybe
That's
he
true.
would elevate him and he'd come back to life and he'd because Bruce Willis is on fire in the Fifth Element. He's energized. He's engaged. He's a movie star. In
He's
that
got a
movie.
great filmmaker who is visually
Yes.
getting everything he wants out.
Well, there's so much going on in that movie.
Right.
Visually.
Right.
Right down to when I love when the guy robs Bruce Willis and he's got the hat on that has the the hallway picture on it.
Yeah.
Like just the details in that movie are just
It's
out
a
of
great
control.
movie. Great movie.
And my favorite scene is still when they go to get on they go to like the space station thing, and she's like multipass. And he's like,
multipass.
shh, shh, multipass,
Multipass.
and the other guy's like trying to get the lines out what he wants to go do.
I
He's like, "Yeah, shut
still
up, shut
say,
up."
for some reason, I love that movie, and I still say multipass. From time to time, it comes up, and I'm like,
multipass.
multipass. Multipass.
Do you see the common thread in? He has the same scene in that movie that he has in The Professional, where
I don't.
in The Professional, when Matilda's family gets murdered, and then she comes up the stairs and she sees all the guys, the bad cops, so she goes up to the door, and she's knocking on his door, and she's like, "Please help me." And Leon's got to make the choice, which is going to change his life and change the course of the movie. The same scene happens in Fifth Element, where she falls into the cab and he gets surrounded by the police, and she's like, "Please help me." And he's like, "I can't. I got too many credits on my license. I can't do it." And they're like,
Isn't
"Pull
there
over,
a scene
pull
where
over."
she's at the door when she says that too?
No, she's in the back of the cab.
Okay.
And the police surround it.
Maybe it's
and
so
they want
close,
him,
that's
and
why
they
I'm
want him to
thinking
pull
of it,
over.
yeah.
But it's almost like the exact same scene.
Interesting. It's that vulnerability of someone asking for help.
Yes, exactly.
And you being
It's-
someone who's
it's-
actually good on the inside,
right,
but being tough on the outside.
and it's going to change his whole
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But he
yeah,
does
yeah,
it anyway.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
interesting paradigm there that they crossed and stayed with. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, it's almost the exact. I'd like to actually line up the two movies and see where they happen in the timeline,
Interesting.
because it's the same scene.
I love both. I fell in love with Luke Besson from Professional through Fifth Element, and then I'm like, what happened?
For years, The Professional was my favorite movie.
Yeah.
For years, how old was I? I think it was my year out of high school, and my father had bought one of those exercise machines off TV,
Right.
like the all-in-one machine. You'll cut weight and do this and that. But it was a badass machine. Like you got on it, you sat on it, and you grabbed the handles and you pulled yourself up and pushed down on it and brought your body up.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was good exercise.
Yeah.
And I used to like to do that, but I wanted to do it for exactly 25 minutes or 20 minutes. I forget the exact number. Well, there's a certain point in The Professional until the very end of it that it's exactly 23 minutes long.
Oh.
So 3 times a week, whatever it was, I'd put on The Professional,
And
I would just exercise to the end, to the climax, basically.
Interesting.
Because it's a perfect sequence. And I remember reading about how many edits he has in that sequence and how he constructed it. But for years, and only because I haven't watched it as religiously
Right.
as I used to, but for years I contested that was the most perfect 10 minutes of cinema ever created. Was the end of The Professional.
Interesting.
And I would battle that on I'd be in school or whoever I was talking to or film geeks and so on. I'm like, nope. I'm like, this is a better movie, but the perfect 10 minutes of cinema
Is right
are
here.
in the professional.
You sure you
Yeah.
couldn't find that 10 minutes in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Not in the same way. No, because there's more heightened drama and more is coming together in the professional.
Interesting.
Yeah, because she
I've learned a little bit about Craig today.
yes, because it's all about protecting her, but now he has to protect him. His whole life has been thrown askew.
Absolutely.
They found him out. The gig's up. He's never going to live a life again, if he even gets out of this alive. So it's more about his survival at this point, trying to save her. He knows he's not going to live. We want to see Stansfield get what's coming to him, but he's not even in the equation at the moment.
Right.
How are they going to get out of this little apartment? So much is going on thematically. Whereas, I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark is a perfect movie.
Right.
But
Oh.
but
It is a perfect
the way,
movie.
It's the way that Besson builds the film to that exact moment.
Right.
That's just like it's structured so well.
Yeah.
You know, like Raiders builds the scenes, but it's like you're kind of used to it. It's riding its rhythm.
Right.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
But the way Professional builds, there's not a lot of action in the Professional. There's a couple little bursts of violence, but there's not a lot of action in it.
You're right about that.
And
It's very
it
contained.
builds up to this very contained, suspenseful climax
Right.
that I could probably go home and watch tonight because I will.
Now I'm excited. Now I want to go. I don't own that movie, sadly.
Oh, I own the extended.
I know which
director's
one you
cut.
have. You had it at my house for a while.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We were always threatening to watch it.
Yeah, always threatening to watch it.
Yeah.
We never
Ooh,
did.
although alcohol just hit me. It was either that or the kratom.
Maybe the kratom. Craig, we should probably
Combination
start
too.
waping it up.
We probably should, yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna end on the high note with
on a
Professional.
high note, right? So, sequels, reboots, rubbish,
Crap. Mostly crap.
garbage.
A lot of gems. Thank you to Steve for letting us use the facility. This has been great. Thank you very much.
Absolutely,
Thank
first
you,
time
thank you.
here at Next
Yep.
Wave here in Troy, Michigan. It was
If
cool
you're
having
looking
Brian
for
here.
if you're looking for if your band wants to do a live recording, or if you want to do a video production, or if you want to do help me out here, if you want to do what here in
Podcast.
Next Wave. What else can you do at Next Wave?
You can have parties,
You can have parties here.
Absolutely.
You can lease the space.
right?
Go to
Next Wave.
Next Wave Media Lab on the internet.
Yep, it's in
And,
Troy, Michigan,
and we're gonna hook
it's
you
a
up.
great facility. Steve Caldwell, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Absolutely. And I
Thank
actually
you, Jason Catron.
Hey, thank you.
And
Craig,
thank you
good
to Brian, who's
Brian,
not here.
yeah, that was
Thank
cool
you,
having Brian in town. It was
Yeah.
a nice like little stars aligning where I was like, ooh, Craig's in town.
Brian's in
Brian's
town.
birthday. Brian's in town. This could work out fun,
Could,
right?
very well,
Very
very
cool.
well, yes. Uh-huh.
So we're now on YouTube, obviously, right? You're watching us now.
You're watching
on
us
YouTube.
on YouTube. As
We're
we
in
speak.
obviously Facebook, SoundCloud,
Yes.
iTunes.
iTunes, yes.
And if you haven't kept watching us, listening to us, whatever the case may be, keep going. If you have questions, we are now at the Dre Craig podcast at gmail.com. So if you
True,
have
yes.
anything you want to relay to us, whether it's a topic, whether it's a point of contention, whether it's a mistake
If you
we
don't
made.
like Woody Harrelson, don't bother.
Hey, listen.
Don't bother.
If you've
emailing
listened
us.
to us in the past, you know that we make lots of mistakes and we don't give a shit, right? So
That's why we brought the computer in.
that's why
now have
because
to
I
do
looked
that.
up like two things, but it's here, but it's here for some reason, right? But if we have a problem, please, if you have any questions, please, if you have any topics you want to discuss, please, the J Craig podcast at gmail.com.
Keep
Of course,
listening and
we'll keep talking. Peace out.
later. Bye, Jay.
Bye, Craig. Later. Bye-bye.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, a lot of fun.